No, man. No, he's 40 feet back. Means he's not suspicious.
It was so
Fuck,
good.
that was so good.
Like, okay. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Uh-huh.
I think we're live now. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, I fucking like as soon as just like, huh? What was that? It must have been my
Yeah.
imagination. It's just like, it's just so good.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Oh.
I fucking lost my shit when they started talking over each other.
Yeah. Huh, must have been
I
my
will reveal
imagination.
to you.
Oh, it's the Lorenzo family. Oh, it's just, it's so good.
And fucking, oh shit, what was the other one? Fuck, damn it. Which one was it? I will disclose to you the secrets.
Oh, yeah, now that we're in public, where I could have just told you this stuff in the car, now I will disclose to you the secrets. It's so good. So good.
Did you see the rest of the RPG ones, by the way?
I saw the second one.
Dude, I love the second one.
The second one's really good, where he's trying to do everything right.
No, the screaming face.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the screaming too. Yeah, it's good. Well, hello out there. Welcome back to TableTalk, Discussion, and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great on 95.
And I am the second host because the third host is dead.
Yeah. So, before we begin, as always, we have a couple of things. First off, Aiden's doing good. They got him awake. And he was able to give responses, and stuff, but, he hasn't been able to talk yet, mostly because of breathing tube. Pretty sure that was it. And, yeah, so he's doing good. And we're, happy that that's the case. Yeah. Hopefully he gets, because apparently he's a fucking miracle man who gets better really quickly. So that's neat.
Yeah, and thankfully Jesus, the campaign won't need to be canceled.
No, jeez,
that's the real concern.
But no, yeah. So that's that. He's a senzu bean magic, dude. I know, right? But yeah, so that's good. Hopefully at some point we'll actually hear from him himself. But so before we get to
that's just
all right, so before we even get to comments or anything, if you guys haven't seen, what is his channel name?
Joel Haver.
Joel Haver, great channel. Fucking love it.
That he's doing recently. He started doing cartoons that are all rotoscoped.
Yes.
And so it's all really, really fucking weird looking, but it's also strangely appealing.
Adventure awaits, huzzah! Exactly!
Yeah!
They're so good. They're so good. Oh my god.
Yeah. And so we just found them not too long ago.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious. So yeah. Go check that shit out. It's fucking hilarious. But yes, so other than that, we have a couple of comments, literally just two. So we can get to those and then
sorry.
You're just thinking about
I need to close this. I'm not gonna be able to concentrate. Oh Jesus! I'm sorry. The screaming face fucking really gets me every time.
It is really good. His screaming face is really funny.
Fucking weird looking.
Okay. So yeah. So on our 46th episode of Taking 20's 50-minute video.
Oh god.
Why we just have Dr. Smegs.
Okay.
Who says, I'm only a bit into this video and I already love y'all 100%, 100 times more than the other guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the entirety of it.
Yes.
But yes. And then we had Ty Pollitt, who commented a while ago before, but he commented on 48 last episode, saying, "Hey, like 3 days ago I saw episode 47. I appreciate you guys for catching my Warhammer reference, and I'm sorry for seeming upset. I promise I wasn't. I want you all to have fun and take care of yourselves. I would like to know your ideas on generic systems in general, GURPS, Genesis, Cypher, etc. No need to make a whole video on it, just a curiosity I had."
No, I mean, I'd be down to make a video about that, because there are lots of really good systems out there.
Absolutely.
Like, general systems.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, if we do devote some time to it, which we probably will in the future, yeah, I mean, I haven't used GURPS myself, but I hear a lot of good things. And I didn't know about Genesis or Cypher either, so it's good to know that there's more than just GURPS out there, I guess.
And actually, there is one made by Chaosium. It's basically the system from Call of Cthulhu, at least in terms of like character sheets and stuff and dice rolling. And it's called Basic Role Playing. At least I believe so. So you can take that template and play whatever you want with it.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we think so far until we get deeper into the rabbit hole, as it were.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all for comments. Good stuff. Thank you.
Hey, it didn't take an hour this time.
Yeah, it did take an hour because we didn't have like 2 weeks worth. But yeah, so let's get to the stuff. Later on, of course, we'll be talking about the who we are brought to you by, but for now, just know that that's coming. So
that people brought us to you.
Yes, people have now started to financially bring us to you. It's crazy. But we'll get to that. So we are going to be covering today a video that I found while just browsing, and I was like, huh, that's a weird thing to say. You are playing the wrong tabletop RPG, so what are your options? This is brought to us by Legion of Myth, excuse me. And yeah, I listened to the beginning for like 2 seconds, and I was like, they have a bunch of systems on the screen. They circled D&D, and were like, this is not what you should be playing. And I was like,
okay.
Huh. Okay.
Well.
So we shall see what that's all about.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Legion of Myth. RNG, the random number generator. We talk random things happening across our minds and across the nerdosphere.
What?
If you like this random nerd content,
okay, you're gonna have to do that again. What?
I think he said. I think he said we're talking about random things across the nerdosphere. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. But
yeah,
it was
because mine was actually
mumbled.
My volume was a little bit too low, so
Yeah,
I kind of caught it.
Yeah,
and I did get that, but like I want to make sure.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Legion of Myth. RNG, the random number generator. We talk random things happening across our minds and across the nerdosphere. If you like this content,
yeah, don't go for a second take.
Yeah,
no offense, but
fine,
like,
it's fine.
yee, that was that's not good.
No, I feel it.
Yeah. Anyway,
like and subscribe and share.
Oh, dramatic
Thank
pause,
you
huh?
for your consideration. And now, are you playing the wrong RPG?
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
Okay, right off the bat, I like guy on the left. Possibly. Okay, yes, I can get behind that. Sure, some things
guy
aren't
on
for
the left
everyone.
or guy on the right?
Guy on the left. Guy on the left who was
Okay.
like possibly you are, right? Like, because it's like, hey man,
Yeah,
you might
possibly.
play something that you're not into. This guy over here is just like, ah! All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
All right, there are a lot of RPGs out there, but right now, Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, Dungeons and Dragons, has a huge resurgence. It's become part of the public zeitgeist. D&D is bigger than it's been since the 80s. It's everywhere. You got famous people playing it, talking about it. And honestly, famous people playing D&D for a long time, but you don't really hear about these games. But now they're streaming, they're filming, people are talking about it. And so all these people who before wouldn't be affected by pen and paper RPGs are now getting on board. They're having a good time. They're playing with their friends, and everyone's playing D&D, it seems. But here's the thing. Most of the groups you see people talking about or posting, or not most, I'll say a lot, look more like the people you should be hunting instead of the actual heroes. You got like demon.
What?
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so we'll need to let him keep going.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
I seriously hope that he does not have an issue with D&D just because of the races,
right,
and their backgrounds. Like,
oh
my god, tieflings.
That would be something. That would be something. I just...
Oh
Whoa. One of their older videos? Okay.
Okay.
Right. So hopefully they
here's the
changed
thing.
their
I would
opinion.
understand if they were saying this about, like, oh man, if all these people playing Call of Cthulhu and they're playing as Deep Ones, they shouldn't be doing that. Yes, I agree. You shouldn't be playing as Deep Ones. You're not supposed to.
Yeah. I'm gonna see when this was posted, actually.
Imagine not liking Monstrous Ancestries. They're so much fun. I know, right? Like,
No. So we say older. This was from February 14th of last year. That's not that old.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not that old.
Because I want to make sure it's not like, since you say last year, I want to make sure you're talking about 2020 and not 2019.
Right. No, I'm fully transitioned over, dude. No worries there.
Just making sure.
No, I feel you.
These guys have a very old school perspective on D&D. Okay.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
That's alarming.
That's interesting. The variety of races would attract me to Pathfinder back in the day. Yeah, Pathfinder has a bunch of ancestries that, like, being a monk, or not a monk, sorry, brain. Hello, goblin.
Race.
Yeah, right. Being a goblin, being an orc, being a tiefling, being anything that looks, quote unquote, like a monster or something is what they're saying, and I really don't like saying that out loud.
Like, well, I mean, it's fine. It's an imaginary creature.
I know. It's just one of those things where it's like, the thing is, like, you could still, like, take that and go,
It's true, but like, I don't personally have any problem with saying that an ogre looks like a monster.
I mean, okay, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. It's one of those things where it's just like, at this point, we've had so many editions where you can play as these classes or these races that it's like it's just the norm. Like, why is this a problem, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, hell, I haven't. Hang on, I know that I have a character folder. D&D stuff, characters. What the hell are they? Do I not have one? I could have sworn I had one. Normal campaign. Here we go. Yeah. So I have, out of like all the characters that I want to make, only one of them is human, and I want to make like 6 characters.
Yeah, fair.
The only reason why I even want to make it a human is because that's the only way it works in the story. Sure, otherwise, I prefer to make monstrous characters because that just is more interesting to me.
That's fair.
Because I'm human. If I want to roleplay as somebody else, I don't want to just be a human again, you know?
Yeah, okay. They only think this way about D&D.
Okay.
What the fuck? Okay, that's dumb. That's a really dumb standard then.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, right? Like, I understand they're called monstrous races, sure. They're probably not called that anymore. They're called monstrous folk now, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, that was what they were called as, and I'm fine with that. Like,
humanity challenged folk.
God damn it. I'm fine with that, and it's just like, that's not a problem, right? But when you just go like, yeah, why do you look like the things we're supposed to be fighting? I'm like,
like, that's
not. I don't like that. That doesn't feel right.
The face that I posted suddenly is feeling very appropriate.
It's true. Oh man.
You got like demon people and orcs and. You know, there's one human there. He's cool, I guess. Maybe
oh my god!
Wow. I don't know. But basically, the groups look like the villain.
What about the elf? Are we gonna just not talk about the elf? Like, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Let's be entirely clear. using this isn't real racism, right? It's not real. It's still very strange, and it kind of colors your character, like your
really
personal character a bit.
Yeah.
Right? Where I have to think about you is like really weird now.
Yeah, like if I wanted to make a character that was racist to orcs, I would have to have a good reason for it. And
Absolutely.
even if I did, I would be really telling my GM, like, hey, the character that I'm thinking of is racist to orcs. So I don't know do you want me to tone that down? Do you want me to not have that at all?
Yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Like
I want to make sure that that is cool.
Yeah.
Because if you're racist towards an orc, that does, like, and I'm not saying that if you're racist in an RPG, you're racist in real life towards anybody in particular. But it is kind of a yellow flag.
Yeah, it's not red.
You know what I mean?
We're just like,
this is a little weird.
Like, obviously, if you're making the reason for your character's backstory and it's just that, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, again, racism can be used, like we've said, racism can be used to tell a story. Right?
Yes, exactly.
And it's a good way to have a conflict and actually, like, have resolution because of it. Because then you can tell this full story of somebody finding out, like, oh, shit, I'm racist or something like that. And then
and, like,
they get through it. Right?
Yes, exactly. The working through it is usually the end goal.
Yes, and it's an interesting story to see. Like, think about Lord of the Rings, right? Gimli and Legolas fucking hated each other just because they were elf and dwarf, right?
Yeah.
And because of the whole journey, they then go, we're friends. We're really good friends. We'll fight alongside. We'll die. Literally, I would never thought I would fight next to an elf. What about fighting beside a friend, right? Like that whole thing is a great example of this. Yeah.
It's great.
And then they continue just being friends forever. It's great.
Yeah. And there's one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 4 is Valkyria Chronicles. It's a not real-time strategy. Tactical game, kind of like Fire Emblem. I can't think of the name for that genre. And there are two races that are prominent in the game. They're just I forget. Basically, they're like regular people, and then Darksons.
Okay.
And Darksons were blamed for this ancient calamity. And basically, there's a woman in your squad named Rosie. She's a main character, and she's racist toward Darksons. And she meets your half-sister, who is Darkson, and they slowly, your half-sister is like trying to really break through that. She's being nice, when she is racist to her, she's calm and patient and all that.
Yeah.
And eventually, there's like this holiday where it's like Friendship Day or whatever, and you give someone who is your friend or a loved one like a gift of some variety. And your half-sister gives her like a doll, I believe, and I think she turns her down. And everybody's like, why the hell would you do that? You like her, like you've been with her long enough, know she's not the way that they are. And my favorite line, even though it's still kind of a sad scene, is, I'm not big enough to change overnight.
Ooh.
Even though she admits it. It's like, I know, but I'm not strong enough to change overnight.
That is a good line. I really like that.
Because that is very, very real. Yeah, and
it's mature.
Like when I did a Let's Play of that game. When I got to that point, I kind of went into some of my own personal history and I don't mind going back into it here. It's not like it's a pain. I was raised Christian. And when you are raised Christian, at least it doesn't, I don't think it happens very much anymore, but in the early 2000s and 90s, it was pretty much okay to say, that shit's gay, like as in bad.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that used to be a big thing. And I used to do that when I was young. And it took me a very, very, very long time to get that out of my system. I don't say that anymore because it's wrong. And it took a long time to get out of it, even though I knew it was wrong, because you can't just change overnight. If you've been raised that way, then it's really hard to overcome that, even when you really, really want to. It's
Right,
just
right.
who you are.
Absolutely. No, and that's the thing. Everybody, we're we're getting into a bit of a deeper discussion at this point.
I mean,
but
hey, they're talking
I know.
racist shit. We get into racist shit.
Well, this is the thing, right? We're in this day and age of like cancel culture and shit, where you just immediately like condemn somebody for something they did in the past just because like that's bad.
Yeah, just because you don't like it.
But that's the thing. Like people change over time. Like people learn what they did was wrong, right? So like giving somebody the benefit of maybe they've changed to this point, you know, maybe they're actually like a better person now, like maybe they understand that what they did back then was wrong and they can say that they're sorry about it and we can just accept that they understand that and all that.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's cancel culture and it's a whole thing.
Hashtag cancel culture, please.
Oh my god. So yeah, anyway, that picture is from Dungeon Mayhem card game. Yeah, and it's really fun. That card game is really fun, actually.
Never played it.
Yeah, I think I played it a little bit on Tabletop Sim. Really fun.
Oh, then maybe we actually have played it. If
We
was
might
on
have,
Tabletop
yeah.
Sim. Because I know the Broken had that big kick where it was like, oh, I want to play all the RPG related stuff on here, you know?
Yeah. Speciesism, yeah, right. I was just thinking about Lord of the Rings. Great analogy of when it can be used well. Thank you. Yes, there are so many instances where you can just use racism very well to tell the story, right, and show growth. It's very good in that respect. You're not allowed to make mistakes. Also, hello, hey Vortexus, hey everybody. By the way, didn't say hi to like everybody. Hi. Yeah. All right. Let us continue with
Bliss.
Yeah. I mean, they're all Inhumans. They're all monsters. They're all from evil races, but I'm good. They're not your classic D&D parties. They're not.
Okay,
so
I look evil, but I'm good.
Right.
I guess you've never seen My Hero Academia, have you?
Like, and I still haven't either. But regardless of that, right? Like,
because All Might looks fucking evil, but he's great.
He does. You're right. Okay.
He looks fucking evil.
But like, okay, so this is so weird. This is so
I don't like this.
What is this gatekeeping, right? Like, I don't want to play in a game with any demon people. It's like,
right?
All right.
And okay, so hang on.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the wrong RPG because I am bored with human characters, even though basically all other forms of media involve human characters because it's basically the only thing we can do outside of animation.
Right.
How many times have you seen a TV show with the stars of the aliens and they don't look at all like humans?
Dude, I wish. That would be so cool.
That'd be cool.
It's one of those things where this is just strange to me, right? Because it's like, excuse me. It's just like, hey man, I can't even fucking formulate a thought to this because it's just like
Vortexus. What I mean is like just the in like the face. Like sometimes when he's doing that big fuck off smile with all the shading and stuff, he looks fucking evil sometimes. I'm sorry.
It is true. It is true.
And don't worry, I know that he's great. I love All Might, but sometimes like an outside viewer who knows nothing about him, is that the villain? No, he's actually good. What?
Draco Kraken says, are these the guys who play an X-Men RPG and say no mutants?
Oh
Dude,
my god.
That would be stupid if they did that.
Oh my...
I see what you mean. The eyes don't help his case. It's true, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's all I mean.
Yeah,
because don't worry, I've seen all of the current My Hero Academia and fucking love it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's yeah, I don't know. This is just really weird because it's just like, what is this first point of we're playing with races that don't look like humans or elves or dwarves?
And so you're saying because you look evil, that means you're just doomed to your fate of evilness? And how dare a new player entering D&D be like, oh man, humans, orcs, oh, they're cool. Goliaths, dude. Tieflings? Bam! That's me. Exactly. How dare they want to play what they want to play?
It's so
and be
weird.
A good guy.
I really hope they fucking run it back somehow. This is really weird.
Yeah, so we need to keep going.
Yeah.
You're banded together, whether they're incredibly competent or a bunch of who are, but they're not heroes. It's not saying it doesn't look like heroes, but they're not monster races. They're typical fantasy Tolkien-esque legendary story heroes.
Okay, so you don't have
Just
to
the
be
pauses.
Tolkien-esque just
Yeah.
to be a hero. Like, you don't have to be a certain... Okay, all right. So,
Well,
anyone... Greatness can come from anyone. Anyone can come from greatness. Like, that kind of thing, right? Like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, or anything like that. It's, like... Also, aren't you allowed to be a villain sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. Like... Oh my god.
I gotta find. Hang on.
I'm glad that this is turning out exactly like I thought it would. Nope.
Where?
Like your first character is? Yeah. Oh, dude. Like I enjoy playing a villain at times because you can be nuanced with it. Excuse me. What do you find?
So I just this is honestly kind of what I'm getting from this, where like this is what I'm getting from this.
Hold on.
That's what I'm getting from this.
Yes, this does seem
honestly
way too black and white. I don't understand it at all. You are totally
I love
correct,
those memes.
Slazix. Oh, it's not letting me.
And it makes me happy that I was like 6'1".
I'm a short boy. There you go. It's just
Oh god.
so dumb.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
This is man, this is so weird.
This is really bad.
I don't know, man. Okay, here we go.
And even in the original first edition player's handbook, Gary Gygax talks about why you shouldn't let people play monster races in parties.
Oh my god, I don't give a shit what Gary Gygax says.
Yeah,
What he says doesn't matter. Like he's
okay.
It does death of the author. Legitimately, I don't give a fuck about what Gary Gygax says.
Yeah, I'm sorry. In first edition, shit was different.
Yup.
In first edition, that was 40 fucking years ago, old man.
Right? Exactly.
Times have fucking changed.
I don't know the guy on the left in the video, but the guy on the right is a huge anime fan. Oh, well then what is he doing?
I don't know. Because, like, that's kind of a thing with
That's like a thing in anime.
That's usually a thing where if you have an adventure, there's usually a character that's, like, of a different race. I mean, hell, if you want a Shield hero, one of the second most main character, Raftalia, is a beast woman.
There you go.
Beastman,
Yeah.
technically. Raru. Not exactly Raru, but... I wish.
Isn't the unlikely hero one of the major story tropes? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing you can use. I don't understand. What are you?
Like,
what? Why?
Hell, you make Frodo green, and now you got a goblin being the hero.
Exactly. Right.
I would like that.
you could do whatever you want, and I don't. Just because 40 years ago, Gary Gygax went, nah, we don't want to play as monsters. It's like, well, maybe I do though.
Well, I do take
Oh yeah, go on.
While I do take creators' intent into account in a lot of places, D&D has changed beyond its original iterations. His words don't really apply here. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Death of the author is quite real, right? Just because an author, like, we all looked at what J.K. Rowling says about Harry Potter. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Because it's like, no, okay, in the original fucking text, it doesn't matter. And even in D&D 1E, I don't know much about it entirely, like, all of its writing. Maybe in it, they're like, hey, you shouldn't play monsters. But, like, even so, I still think it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want.
I've played RPGs for about 30 plus years, and these kinds of elitist old school players always annoy me. Also, TSR gave us a guide to humanoids containing monsters playable races for AD&D.
There you fucking go. Like, come on. That series kind of belongs to the fans at this point. It does. It really does. Like, the whole thing with D&D and any TTRPG is you can just customize it to your heart's content. It is homebrewable beyond belief, and you can do whatever you want. It's
yeah.
I know we're just saying the things that make sense and that are just true overall, but apparently these guys don't understand. Plus DM's word is law. Who cares? Exactly. Yeah.
It's a topic for another day. So the issue is, I think, not that people are bad because they're playing monsters, and that 5th edition is going to let them do it because Wizards of the Coast doesn't care if you buy the books to burn them in effigy.
What?
If you want to buy the book to play a character who is, let's say, a cat who walks around and can use magic for some reason,
as opposed to
they're cool with
cats
They
that
don't
fly.
As opposed to literally being a human that can walk around and use magic. That's being a cat is too far, but using magic is fine. Shut up. Really?
It just makes me want to play a Tabaxi again, man.
Right? Oh man.
That was a really fun. Fuck.
It was.
rules for it somewhere.
Every time.
They are a business. If you want to play D&D your way, even though most people will say that's wrong,
No, they
they're
won't.
still going to want to take your money, so they'll make rules for it.
Duncan says, "Who want to play the Magic Cat?" I brought up that as an example because in a previous game, I played an awakened cat wizard. So, yeah, I'm guilty. But
So then what are you
the rest of
saying?
the
So
group is
then,
fairly normal.
oh my god.
What the fuck are you saying then?
Yeah, like you.
No shape changing for druids. Exactly. I don't. What is happening? What are you saying? Are you actually backtracking? I can't tell. Like he said, Wizards doesn't care how you play the game. They just want you to buy the books, so they'll make rules for you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no. Is that bad?
No, right?
God.
Like I don't understand what his point is here.
Oh, for Texas. Why you gotta say awakened monkey sorcerer? Now I want to play his son Wukong. Damn it.
Are you referring to oh god, what is her name? She does some YouTube stuff. Fuck.
Jenny D.
No. She does animated like D&D story about her thing. Fool's Gold. Yeah, that's the series. Yeah, that's it. I don't remember what the creator's name is though. Dingo Doodles, I think. Dingo Doodles.
Oh.
That's what's happening with 5e. What's happening with 5e? Oh, they don't care how you play. They just want your money. Yeah. Well, they do now care because now they're rewriting a bunch of race things and the.
Well, okay. It's not that they care how you play. It's they care when a bunch of SJWs go pissing and moaning towards them that they don't like the word races.
Mm-hmm. When they don't like that and they don't like the depiction of whatever.
But the problem here's the thing though.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to like how you play.
No.
The game is designed to let you play however you want. No
Exactly.
one cares how you play.
Literally.
If you play a way and you like it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody will. It's like, oh man, we play this way. We did this. Dude, that's awesome. We played this way. That's cool.
Exactly.
There's
Considering
no point
that Wizards of the Coast put in an OSHA dungeon that's wheelchair accessible in their new book, yeah. Well, so that's a thing, right? Okay, let's address that for just a second. The combat wheelchair, Aiden and I looked at it a while ago. It's cool. It's neat. It's supposed to make it so that you can play as a person who's unable to walk and still be able to adventure, right? The only issues we had with it, was that it was supposed to make you just as capable as a normal adventurer. It has a couple of things that are a little too powerful. That's all. That's it. It's fine. I don't give a shit who uses it. It's cool. I think it's a good designed thing overall. The dungeon itself, whatever. You don't use it, you don't use it. Like, I don't give a shit, right? One way or the other. You don't need... This is my thing. You don't need a company to tell you that it's okay to play any way you want, right? You don't need the company to then go, hey, you should play like this because we now have this in there. Like, no. You just take your world and you go, I want to put ramps in my dungeons, right? Like, you just do that. And you go, okay, cool, whatever. Yeah,
that's a good point. The combat wheelchair makes no sense in worlds where you can have clerical divine magic that can heal your body of defects.
That's fair. Again, I don't know. It depends on the magic of the world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing, right? We always say that adventurers are exceptional people, right?
Yes.
But you have to work to get to being exceptional, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, some people might not want to get rid of that. They might find
it's true.
They might find that they're like, hey, because I can't walk and I can still do things, I'm just as good as anybody else, and I don't need my legs to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it can be a pride thing where I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I lost my legs, but I don't fucking need them back.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. You can, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. The other thing is maybe this person never was able to afford the healing from a cleric because that shit's expensive. You have to think
exactly.
about
That's what Nugs, not drugs, just said.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Or it could be a low magic campaign, right?
Yes.
Where there's not that level of healing, right? I don't know. But regardless, you can make it work. It doesn't matter what it is. You can just make it work.
Let me say this, though. I would posit that I don't want a combat wheelchair. I would much rather have, like, combat, like, spider legs.
Oh, that's actually a thing that's a thing you can get for it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, now that's better.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Wild Wild West?
Yes.
That's what I want.
Understand.
Fuck your wheelchair, dude.
I think actually we looked at it and we were like, if that lasted longer than like an hour, because I think it was down to an hour you could only do that for, which was unfortunate. But we were like, no, make it a build path, right? Where you just replace your wheels with spider legs. Fuck it. Why
Hell
not?
yeah.
You know, so yeah, Joker from Mass Effect is a good example of that. Yes,
man.
Pizza Funk, absolutely.
Dude. Okay, instead of the spider legs, let's turn it into like a centaur horse body.
Do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, absolutely. That's my thing. That's the whole thing. I don't give a fuck about like if you make something cool, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's balanced, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter at all. And then it's just like when the company itself goes, we are condemning you for saying that these are races, right?
Yeah.
We're condemning what our writers have put because apparently it's racist now. It's like, no. Some people are just taking it way too far, and now you're telling me that I'm racist. That's annoying. I don't like this. Anyway, offhand, Pathfinder 2e will have rules for prosthetics and a combat wheelchair, I believe, in Guns and Gears later this year. There you go.
That's cool.
Buddy's legless gnome cavalier uses a wolf mount to get around. Exactly, right? Like
nice.
It's the same kind of thing. In Eberron, in Rise of Eberron, for 5e, they have a prosthetic arm that you can get. Like, they put that in. Excuse me. They put that in because you can make it a rocket arm and punch people with it. It's great. Right? Like, you can do so much with a character that is disabled in some way, right?
I mean, hell, there's an entire game built around that. You know what it's called? No. Cyberpunk.
Oh, true. Yeah, you just put cyberware on you. Yeah, absolutely. Not all people who have disabilities like it. My roommate who is spina bifida and scoliosis finds it insulting. That's fair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
the other thing.
This is the thing, right? It's a balance, right? You might not like it, you might like it. I don't know. That I feel like the combat wheelchair literally does not make it so that you are any worse or any like it doesn't make it so that you can't play as a fully like
quadriplegic.
Like you can play the character that is totally able to use their legs, totally able to use their arms. Like maybe I had a friend who played as a completely quadriplegic person but had psionic abilities. That was his thing.
So Professor X.
No, because he would roll on the ground and that was his thing. He liked to roll. I don't know. It was interesting. It was very fun. I liked it. But yeah, he had minor psionic ability to that extent, and then we would go into more of his psionic abilities, and he would be able to float and stuff if he wanted to, and all that shit, right? This is the thing. I understand that not everybody likes having a disability. That's fair. Not everybody does. But I can't say that just because one person doesn't like it, or a few people don't like it, some people embrace it and they go for it and they want their characters to be more like them so that they can like live vicariously through them a bit.
Yes.
You know? He liked to role play, when he was rolling on the ground. It was great. It was really fun. But that's the thing. I totally understand and respect that people don't like, having a character that has disabilities if they have a disability. They just want to play as a character. And they can! There's nothing wrong with it, right? You can have the guy who actually has to use a wheelchair play as a guy who doesn't need a wheelchair. And then you have somebody else who has a wheelchair in the same game who plays with the wheelchair character. Whatever. It doesn't matter, right? I don't see why there's a problem, right? Anyway.
But let's get back to why monster races are bad.
Yeah, let's get back to why monster races are bad.
Ugh.
If you had like the old groups that have like one weirdo, like you'd have like maybe the one half orc in the group, right? Or you'd have like the one goblin who was actually good, who's like the pet, who was the idiot pet who followed him around.
Oh my god!
helpful. You know, now the whole group is the monster. They like to have the pet.
Now you're
the whole group is the monster.
This is unfortunate because the way that you were framing this, you were equating that the entire group is the idiot goblin.
Yeah,
it's
like just because a goblin is a goblin doesn't make him always an idiot. You know that goblins are quite smart, actually.
It's one of those things. And that one weirdo, yeah.
Ugh.
Very strange.
God,
very strange way to put
this. This is really cringe.
It's 3 minutes in, 3.5 minutes in. Jesus.
Okay, so I'm looking at their.
I'm
honestly kind of looking at their chat to see how much people are agreeing and disagreeing.
Right, yeah.
So far, only Duncan has really.
Ugh. Duck Dynasty were Realistic Cat or Hello Kitty style. I was Puss in Boots style.
Nice!
Even if you look at the original Puss in Boots legend, he's walking around on 2 legs wearing boots and using weapons. And stuff.
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, why not? Why not? That's what I did. Anyway. That's not important to the story.
No. It is because you played as that. So why is this a problem?
Yeah, why?
I don't understand.
Half-orc has been a norm for a long time. What the fuck? Yeah. And this video does make me glad I didn't start playing RPGs with D&D. Well,
so this is the thing, right?
This isn't the fault of the D&D system. No. This is a fault of people who are
gatekeep it.
Yeah.
This is gatekeeping. This is
this has nothing to do with D&D. This is all people.
Yeah, this is all.
You can run into people like this with any system.
Absolutely.
So,
would you all ever do a roleplay guide video aside from just commentary?
Like where we would actually roleplay a scene out and then kind of explain why we chose to do what we did. Is that what you mean?
Or like situations of using roleplay, I guess. Maybe? I don't know.
Cracker, that's fucking cool!
What? I wonder what they would think of my favorite character, which was a flesh warper who was a human who grafted monster parts on himself. Ooh!
That's really fucking cool!
They would probably like it because you were human underneath.
Yeah. And you're using the evil monsters, against them.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
So
I'm not guilty of this at all. I've only played humans.
So the thing.
What? Oh my god!
All right, we see where your allegiance lies, sir.
Yeah. Oh my god. So. Okay, first off, you're guilty of playing a monster character.
Yeah,
it's not that you just want to play a cool character. No. You're guilty.
Guilty.
It's something to feel guilty about. Secondly,
word choice.
Secondly, man, all these monster characters, man, I don't like them. Well, I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, yeah, very weird.
I'm like,
oh my god. Okay.
Oh god, fucking hell.
Flesh Warper's coming to 2E next month. Ooh, cool.
D&D is going to make you do this, but it takes away from what makes D&D interesting as a game, where you're playing that high fantasy or low fantasy world based off ideas from Lord of the Rings or Beowulf or the Iliad, the Odyssey or classic.
Okay, already. Now, again, I'm sorry we have to pause every fucking second, but
because he's just spouting bullshit after bullshit.
I know. So, the world that you are playing in is based off whatever you're playing the world in. If you're playing a game that is set in Lord of the Rings, sure, you play as those types of races in it. Or you play in your setting that is more inspired by Beowulf. Okay, yes, then you restrict some races just because, but you probably are going to give alternatives that give the same kind of stat bonuses, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't. The race doesn't matter in these instances. That's the thing. Why are you making a big deal out of it?
Not to mention, I like how D&D is inspired by these 3 things and that's it.
I think he's gonna go into more, but it's just
I
like,
hope so, but I'm like, man,
it
it doesn't matter what it's inspired by. You
No.
can have your world be anything you want.
Exactly.
Remember the guy who mentioned, I don't remember who it was. He mentioned that they had like fucking weeb orcs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My friend was running a campaign for a little while.
Okay, it was your friend.
Yeah, he had literally the orcs were driven out of the land into this one peninsula that was like monsoon weather a lot, and they found relics of Japanese culture, because this was like post-apocalypse, right? And like they find the relics of Japanese culture, and then they started to integrate that into their society, and then they became literally Japanese orcs. It's fucking cool.
It's
right?
really cool, because instead of like, you have like the more lithe like ninjas and samurai that don't wear like the full like shogun style armor.
Sure.
Now you have like these big fucking wars going on,
Right.
and they have like fucking razor sharp katanas and shit.
Absolutely.
They got throwing stars the size of your fucking chest. It's real bad.
It was a whole thing, and it's so cool. And it's like, that was just because he wanted a post-apocalyptic thing that worked in D&D, and and I helped him with it, and it was fucking fun, and it was cool to be in for a while when we were actually playing it. Unfortunately, we didn't get to, do it too much, but it was still really fun.
But guess what, though?
Huh.
He was wrong.
Oh.
Because orcs are all evil.
Right. We were playing D&D, so unfortunately, that was our first mistake.
Yeah, that was your first mistake. Secondly, Japan doesn't exist in Beowulf and Lord of the Rings. Cut that shit out.
You're right. Okay. So, Fleshwarpers apparently were 3.5 prestige class, so that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. That makes sense that they would go.
Yeah, I mean, everything was a 3.5 prestige class.
True, they literally had a catch-all for everything. Fleshwarpers sound cool, yes.
Yes.
They do. Tale. Things like that.
Where monsters were monsters and heroes were heroes, and there was a line.
And if someone was playing someone had a Minotaur character, you'd kind of look at them funny, and it'd be.
Oh, my OBS died. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a lizard wizard way back in the day.
Oh, reconnected, I think. Okay, we're back, I think.
Chad, are we back? Is he back?
Are we back? Are we back? Please tell me. Please tell me we're back. Disconnected for a second.
Can you see the dumb shits on screen?
Can you see this? Back. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was just a second of
monsters were monsters and heroes were heroes.
Apparently we can never change the side at all.
Yeah.
Like that. Apparently you can't have monsters. So we'll drag it back for a second just so you can hear that, but it's so dumb.
You remember when we were actually back
in my day, we didn't play these loser races. I love it.
Remember back in the day, not back in the day. Remember, fucking hell. You remember a few podcasts ago when we were actually talking about the whole race to folk thing?
Yeah.
I had a big long spiel about an orc hero. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
God.
I know. It doesn't make any sense, this whole
fucking boomers, man.
I don't understand this.
I don't get it either. I don't want to get it.
I know.
If someone had a Minotaur character, you'd kind of look at him funny, and it'd be really strange. Not, I was a Minotaur and he was a dragon and that guy was a lizard man, and like for instance, lizard man. That's probably the weirdest character in the group. Now it's just standard. There's no eyebrows raised. I'm a Drow. Oh, that's normal. That's kind of common. No, Drow are evil monsters.
He says Drow, but he means Drow. Yeah,
it's Drow.
And also,
I used to say Drow, but no, it's Drow.
Yeah, he's also just saying like, oh, now it's normal, and I'm like, yes, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on, please.
Children in front of you and laugh.
Yeah.
So no, they're not. They're bad guys.
Oh my god. Look, okay, you know what? I can understand the Drow thing. I actually can understand the Drow thing, even though I still disagree.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like, at least in terms of, like, novelizations and shit.
Sure.
The only one who ever turned out good that we know of was Drizzt. The only one.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. Obviously, like, I could then go, but you can't believe that that's the only one, right?
I know, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
and the only reason why I kind of understand the Drow thing is because of their fucking culture and how horrible it is.
Oh yeah. They're already like
males are like third-class citizens.
Yeah,
and the
right.
women, the priestesses are fucking like psycho bitches that will fucking murder you if you look at them wrong. And their religion is fucked up because Lolth is fucked up. And if you try to leave, they kill you.
Yep.
If you try to do good things, quote unquote good things, they kill you. If you don't get killed, you get turned into a drider. You get brainwashed. You get turned into a slave.
Yep.
Ugh.
That was it, yeah, obviously looking at it, looking at the entire culture, you go, okay, that's an evil culture, which yes, right? Like, that's not great, and Lolth really loves that it's not great, right? That's her whole thing. Yeah. But obviously we can't assume that not, like, there isn't an uprising every now and again of some drow that are like, and even some of the women in charge who are even like, this is fucked, right? Like,
yeah, right.
It's so like, easy to just.
The thing is that, like, there can be lots of good drow, but you never hear about them.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
One, not many, like, it's unfortunate, but not many campaigns go down into the Underdark.
It is true. It is true.
And when you go into the Underdark, most of the time they're going to be evil because they give you races that you can work with, like the Myconids, the Svirfneblin, the Deep Gnomes, and the Flumps, because you can technically, shack up with the Flumps.
Yep.
And most of the time, the drow will, at least a lot of the drow, will be bad guys, because that's usually what they are. And there's a very good lore reason for them to be bad guys. And so there can be lots of good drow, but you either don't go to the Underdark and you never see them. They get wiped out and turned into slaves or killed or monsters. 3, if they do succeed, there's a good chance they're not coming to the surface.
Yeah, they know that
because they know that
stuff.
People hate them.
Yep.
And they will die.
And they're just hiding. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
oh man, I can already think of like a good campaign hook there with literally
like
having
where you're all drow and you're trying to leave.
That, and like, no, even if it's not just drow, if you're going into the Underdark, you have them go into the Underdark and they find a guy who is just like, whoa, I'm not. Everything you know about drow is like wrong. It was
propaganda. Fucking the Illithids did it.
But like, well, right? Like, but no. What I mean is like, he's just like, yo. Okay, I know it's like super bad, the whole culture and everything, and like everything that everybody encounters is pretty bad. But like, can you help me? I'm trying to leave. Right?
Yeah,
like,
that would be good.
You give it nuance, right?
Yes.
You give it more than just black and white, because it makes it so much more of an interesting story.
Yeah.
Right?
You start injecting all those shades of gray, all 50 of them.
All 50.
And I think my only real problem with drow as heroes, and it is not at all to do with it's not at all to do with the fact that, like, if you want to play a drow because they're cool, awesome.
Yeah.
My only thing is that because of how they're written, you're pretty much always a Mary Sue, and Mary Sues are kind of a little bit annoying.
I understand that.
Just for me.
This is, the other thing is, like, you can do it. It's the thing, right? You just have to work at it.
Exactly, because like it's like, oh, I'm playing a drow, but I'm the only good one. Like, no, I'm a rogue, and my parents are dead. Oh,
that's why I say, like, you have to make it so that it's like, can you help me? There are others like me, but I need to get out, right? Like,
that reminds me of the that D&D green text where it's like, there's a shadowy figure back in the corner who is glaring at everybody around the table and seems to be like trembling with rage.
Right.
It's a drow whose eyes are being really hurt by the firelight, so she has to squint, and she's trembling because she's terrified of what people would find out if they knew she was a drow.
Exactly.
It's that kind of thing.
Exactly. That was so cool when I
it's great. I have no problem if there is a race that's evil, if it makes sense in the setting. The Warhammer world has a lot of this.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. Like, this is the other thing, right? Like, if you want your orcs to just be evil orcs, like the Lord of the Rings, fucking do it. I don't give a shit. It's a fantasy race, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can have something be an evil thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can add the nuance or you cannot add the nuance. I don't think it really, like, it depends on the story you're trying to tell. Right?
Yeah, like it's
Doesn't matter.
okay to have either, neither, or both.
Exactly. I absolutely 100% agree.
Because like the thing is, I want to whenever my campaign finishes up, I would love to actually play in a campaign, and I have a character that I want to make who is effectively a Skaven, but they're not evil. They're not evil. They're a little bit in the head, but they're not evil. But so the thing is, I'm not going to say he's a Skaven, but the only good Skaven. He just acts like a Skaven. That's all.
Exactly.
Because again, the whole thing with the Skaven is that they're all murderous, psychotic, treacherous bastards. They all are. So I cannot effectively make a real Skaven be a good guy because that just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
So he's just a rat guy who acts Skaven-y. That's all.
Exactly. Easily. Drow and Pathfinder will just take elves and turn them into Fallout-esque flesh bags abominations because they think ugly elves are funny. That's great. I love that. Chaotic doesn't equal evil.
Fucked.
Absolutely.
Yes,
that is
exactly.
True.
I mean, hell, Robin Hood's a chaotic. Robin Hood is chaotic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
You out there with this folks. Oh, should I play Ross from Tender Hearted Grade? No comment.
Ross.
I'd play Ross.
Ross.
So the thing is, with all that going on, is are you actually playing the wrong RPG? Everyone knows D&D. It's ubiquitous. They think D&D means tabletop RPG, but there's so many other games, and you might be playing a game, but you're like, well, why can't I shoot lasers? Or why can't my martial art punches put people through walls? You're probably playing the wrong game.
Okay. So
first of all, can I just hold your thought? I'm sorry. I feel like this is a video that's not really for us because we know of so many other games. We're like, dude, this is awesome. This
absolutely.
is awesome.
But even so, like, this is like just from the beginning point. It's like, no, I don't think that just because D&D, like, I don't know why you started out with D&D has these races that look monstrous, so that's bad. No,
you go to this and like completely just
right?
180 away.
This, I agree, right? Like, maybe you're playing a game and you want to play with space lasers and stuff. You can do that in D&D. Don't get me wrong.
You can do that with D&D.
Like, you can do whatever you want with D&D. That's the beauty of it. But like, man, start with this maybe, and not with whatever the fuck the first 5 minutes was.
Yeah, keep your racism. Just keep your racism like in the back of your head, maybe.
Very
Grandpa.
strange. One does not have to be good to be a hero. Yes. Oh yes. Absolutely. I feel like a lot of these people don't get the concept of my game, my rules.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Encourage games. That's what we're doing here today. Are you playing the wrong RPG? Here's some helpful suggestions.
That's not that helpful so far.
All right, first up. Of that. 4 Supers fans. That's right. Heads up, everyone. 4. It's a joke. It's a pun.
There you go.
Superheroes love
Purpose
puns.
spoke completely.
It is. Superheroes love puns. For Supers fans out there. All right, we got some suggestions. Hero. Champions is like the Supers part of the hero system.
Yes.
It's 5th edition. That's one of my favorite editions. Great system.
I've reviewed Champion 6th edition on this channel, so if you want, you can check out that in the YouTube archive.
That's right.
I mean, this is fine. It's just, they're just.
God, like the format is like so mind numbing for me right now.
Yeah. So okay, let me just say to both of you who are saying these words to us. Hey,
Darthan and Heathen Dog.
What if what if I wanted to play a superhero that was no, because
Minotaur?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like with this, you can just go, "Oh, I want to play a superhero like this," and they would go, "Oh, that's fine." But apparently with D&D, you can't do it even though it's literally in the book. Right? Like because
like
so
okay, so okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing a superhero game, what happens if I'm like, I want to play Martian Manhunter? Would they have a problem?
No, they wouldn't
That
because
he's a Martian.
Martian Manhunter exists. That's the thing. They
No,
literally.
I know. What I'm saying is like, all the superheroes should be humans.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Well, that's the thing. What if we did that to them? We'd go,
Ugh.
you can only be a human superhero, right? What if we
Yeah.
said that? They would go, well, no, you can be whatever you... And when we go, we then just open up D&D's player's handbook and point to Tiefling and go, huh, really? Are you
I can
sure?
be whatever I want and be a hero? Wow.
It's just, like, it's the double standard that I don't get.
Yeah.
Right. The hero system is immensely flexible. It takes a lot of thought actually to build a character a lot of times.
Cool.
But you can do anything with it.
Yes.
Want something
Just
simple,
like
you want to
D&D.
roll some dice, Heroes Unlimited. Great game.
Boom, there you go.
Roll
But
up some
Palladium-
powers, roll some
Palladium's
characters.
a great system. It's really easy to
Heard a lot of good things,
make a character.
Heroes Unlimited. huh?
Everything is pretty much spelled out. It's been around for a long time, so the process
No
is
orky
streamlined,
superheroes, though.
and you're going to be able to find someone to run it. Just go to your local comic shop or whatever, and you'll find someone who can run heroes. You find someone who can run Palladium, anything, and if you're for a superhero fan, this is a good one as well. Champions in this, they're my favorite.
Yep.
Now this next one, Savage Worlds, I have never actually played.
Savage Worlds is
seen it.
another generalist system, kind of like hero system. You can do a lot with it. The superpower system for the book is really good. Savage Worlds, I have some friends who are big hero system people, and they nowadays prefer to play Savage Worlds because they say it's just as flexible but easier to do. So it's something you might want to consider for RPGs, Mr. Heathen.
Ooh.
But Savage Worlds is a great system. The super system part of it is great as well.
I wonder if he's going to bring up 7th I highly doubt it.
Maybe, I don't know. This is the thing, right? If we just get, this is the good part of the video of getting recommendations of new systems.
Yeah,
right?
because like there's nothing to really talk about here. They're just giving recommendations on good systems. Like,
and again, what I will do is just go, what if what if I wanted to do this in D&D though, because I could.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing. I mean, obviously the rules in the hero systems are different because it's like, there's no tables for superpowers in D&D,
but you
like
can make it
not
work.
any that are like, what's the word? Not canon, not third party, official. There we go, official.
Okay. Yeah. I got
There's no like official superpower table books, so,
right? But it's one of those things you can just work with. To them, Wizards of the Coast D&D editions aren't D&D. They're just another fantasy game given the label of D&D, but they don't count Wizards of the Coast editions of the game as D&D. Well, then that's stupid. Because that's dumb. Like, okay, so they're very black and white about D&D specifically. That's dumb. Like, okay, that's again like what I said is the double standards. They might have this standard for D&D only, and it's just like, what? Why? Why can't we just have like if you were gonna be this adamant about it? I don't know if they know about Pathfinder. Do they know about Pathfinder? Somebody tell me.
I would imagine so. I think you
I would
can't
think so.
really know about D&D and role-playing and not know about Pathfinder lately.
It's true. But at the same time, like, it's one of those... Keep your weird gay races to these systems. Leave our game alone. Like, what the fuck? Exactly, dude. Sure, to them, whatever. Exactly, right?
See them over there? See, they're building their shanty towns with all their spiky stuff. You hear them yell "wah" every now and then. You see, you know what disease causes them to degenerate into some hulking green brutes, bent on the destruction of all humanity in the galaxy? You know what sickness it is? It's the gay.
There you go.
Them's the gays. Fucking hell.
Right.
Oh,
It's so
I hate
weird.
how well I do the fucking southern like racist bastard. Fuck. God damn it.
Yeah, Pathfinder is a different game to them, so they don't see it the same way. Then that's fucking stupid. They literally like there's no reason for that at all.
Yeah.
It's just because they played D&D when they were a kid.
Yeah.
They were a kid. They were both together as a kid.
As a kid, yeah.
They were a single kid. And but that's the thing, right? Like this is the mindset that you seem to get more so with people who grew up with D&D, like, and that's not to say that everyone's like this, because I literally know people who don't give a shit and they just play the game, right?
But the thing is, the ones that like the people that have these mindsets are still from that group.
It is
for
true.
some reason.
It is unfortunate. it's unfortunate.
Basically, not all tortoises. Wait, what's the saying? Not all tortoises are turtles, but all turtles are tortoises.
Sure.
It's that.
Yeah, don't tell them, but you can be aliens and orcs and heroes unlimited.
Oh God, orcs! Shit.
Heroes, the old one.
The 80s version.
Yeah, especially if you have the Ultimate Powers book. That's
exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really fun system.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard to find.
It is very hard to find.
Yeah.
But
Now, if you want to just kill monsters, that's your thing. I like to role play just killing bad guys. There's good guys, there's bad guys, and you kill the bad guys to win the day.
And they're evil woogies, and they're supernatural.
Yeah, exactly. Then the monster killer fans in you.
Oh my God.
Again with the pun. Riffs. That's what it is, man. Mm-hmm. You are a human.
Well, Rift is really wacky though.
Yeah, it's a little wacky, but the thing is though, you
can't have wackiness.
Invaded by supernatural creatures from all over the multiverse.
Oh, cool.
And you got to fight for your right
to survive,
to keep breathing. Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yours was better, but and you're dealing with supernatural monsters, aliens, monsters from Earth's Zone Past, just all sorts of crazy stuff. Even if you're a cyborg, you're still human at heart, literally, or brain.
Oh my God.
And
what is this human-centric bullshit?
And and it's
yeah, dude. I'm transhuman. Fuck it.
Yeah, like God. I'm like yeah. So
I think it's not all toads.
You can read orc and ribs.
Oh, there you go. I think it's not all toads or frogs, but all frogs are toads. Toads can only live on land, but frogs can live on water and land. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pizza Funk, exactly. Call of Cthulhu is for monster killing? What? I mean, you do it occasionally.
It is for monster killing. It's just that the monsters are killing you.
Yeah. I'm confused. I thought that the point of Call of Cthulhu was that monsters kill you. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gritty. You can die instantaneously, but it's understandable. And it's just you like lots of damage, you like lots of shooting, you like lots of killing. That's your game. Another one for just killing the bad guy is Beyond the Supernatural. This one, there is clear you are good, they are bad. They want to eat your children, your brain, your genitalia, whatever.
Okay.
You kill them to make them stop that.
Much more street level games than Rift and Corpus.
Tastes like semen.
God
damn it.
Rift is a cool world and way more than monster killing. I bet. Oh no, I bet. This is the thing. I like half trust what these guys are saying, just because like I think that they have such a narrow mindset of their TTRPG playing. It's unfortunate because like they're literally just telling me about killing things, right? That's
killing
all
things
they're telling me.
And black and whiteness.
Yes,
there's
exactly.
No gray.
That as well. That the whole literally him saying, "Oh, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys." You know that. I'm like, okay, sure. Maybe that's good. I mean, that is a good thing to have in a lot of things, but at the same time, I enjoy more of the Shades of Grey, where it's like, hey man, we might be the baddies just because we're doing. Are we the baddies?
Yeah, because I mean that can happen.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't tried it in Savage Worlds. I need to check it out. Risk for Savage Worlds. Yeah, Savage Worlds keeps getting brought up, and I think it's one of those things that we should look into. Anyway.
Future tech. Beyond the Supernatural's modern day.
Yes.
You're kind of fragile. The monsters are not. Interesting system.
Sure.
So it's not.
It's kind of like a middle ground until you get to Call of Cthulhu, which is you are going to die. You're going to go insane, and you're going to die.
Yes. Okay. This one is more of the gritty horror monster killer genre, because everything you face, literally everything that's bad in this book, is an alien monster that you must either subdue or kill.
No,
apparently cultists don't exist. Apparently,
cultists don't exist. None of the monsters are hail from Earth, even though they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's fine. Let's just move.
Wrong. I know. It's my favorite RPG. So when things are blatantly fucking wrong, it makes me mad.
I know. Pathfinder for Savage Worlds hit Kickstarter today. Oh, cool.
Oh,
or trying.
Yeah.
Probably the latter.
At least you're hoping to seal it away. What else is problem in 100 years?
But
at least I got that
no
right.
nuance in any of these games, is what we're talking about. You just want to kill things that you know are bad and don't have to think about it too much.
God.
All three.
Apparently, there's no nuance in Call of Cthulhu. How does that make
There's
you
no
feel?
nuance in Call of Cthulhu, guys. Is that a good thing?
No.
There's no nuance in your game?
No, I don't think so. I think that
This is something that Cody needs to play. Because, like...
I don't understand this. I really don't. This is very strange. Nuance makes head hurt. Brain hurty. Don't like.
Ugh.
These winner.
Yep. And as for combat, heavy combat, Call of Cthulhu is light combat.
No,
because usually
well,
combat's a bad
okay.
idea.
Oh.
Usually you're not very good at it.
No.
Read old H.P. Lovecraft stories. He's not talking about people who are able to take, guns into monsters' faces and, laugh. No.
Yeah, no.
No, surely you run for the monster.
What I have found in Call of Cthulhu is the most effective fighter is the jock with a baseball bat.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. And even then, don't go toe-to-toe. Just run.
So they should have just talked about Pulp Cthulhu. They really should have.
Yeah, they should have talked about Pulp Cthulhu, because that's literally exactly what they want.
Yeah,
because that's one where you actually can. Yeah, if I want to kill things, I'd play in a game with Cody. He seems all about combat. They should play the paper.
Oh my god, yeah, right.
God. Yeah, they should.
Why isn't Pathfinder 2 on the monster killing list? Cody said that's what it's for.
And
Ooh, it'll never go away.
It'll never go away.
I love it.
He is
really
the
good,
meme.
Though. Off where else runs away.
Yes.
When you hear the screams, you'll know to miss him later.
Or lack thereof.
So, but yeah, that's for muscular fans. So, if you're like, I just wish my D&D game was more gothic horror, you're in the wrong game.
No.
Okay,
No. You can make D&D gothic horror.
Did he just say he can't do?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, because
if he said that, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
Fans. So, if you're like, I just wish my D&D game was more gothic horror, you're in the wrong game. D&D can do gothic horror.
Okay.
But you want a system made for that. Who's going to make you...
No, not necessarily. You could have it be in D&D, my man.
You ever, there's this little module. You might have heard of it. It's called, Crow Attic. But his friends call him Ravenloft.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, exactly. Draco Kraken's got it. Curse of Strahd, exactly. Or Stead.
Yeah, Curse of Steed.
Curse of
Steed. And fucking...
No, yeah, absolutely. Like, that is the quintessential gothic horror art of D&D. Like, it spawned it in D&D. Yeah.
That is the horror...
Not spawned it.
Fucking hell.
Vampire horse. Dude, sick.
I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Sucks the blood of cows.
This is where you need to go. But for your anime otaku fans, you're like,
I am an anime otaku fan.
I want my alien girlfriend. All right. Big Eye, Small Mouth. BESM.
Okay. I like that title.
A Big Eye, Small Mouth. Yeah, I like it.
That's a fantastic title.
Base. A little more, the most serious of the three here.
That is the most serious, but since it's based on an anime, it fits. It fits.
It has lots of rules for mecha combat.
Yes.
Honorable mention to Mechton. I liked that one for mecha combat. But Big Eye, Small Mouth is a fun, very flexible system. It's tailor-made to simulate a lot of the anime styles, from Naruto to Ranma 1/2. Basically, it's very flexible. It's
the only anime you know is Naruto.
Not that flexible. Teenage Matter Space is...
I wouldn't play D&D if I wanted to play anything that's different from D&D style fantasy. That's fair. That's fine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're able to... What we're saying is, you can. That's the thing, right? Like, what they're spouting here is just... And I appreciate all the recommendations that they're giving. That's cool, right? But, again, you can still do these things with D&D as the base system that you're using. That's all that I'm saying.
Game. It's an anime comedy role-playing game, says right on the cover. It's a lot of fun. I played that quite a few times, not a ton. Wacky hijinks are made to ensue in that game. So if you like more comedy anime, Dragon Ball Z, Beautiful Dreamer, what's the
Dragon Ball Z
Japanese
is
for that?
comedy
Rescue or something.
I don't think he meant that. It's just if you like comedy anime,
Yeah, stuff like that,
Dragon
Teenage
Ball
Outer
Z,
Space, definitely where you want to go. Tenchi's kind of Teenage from Outer Space.
See, I don't
yeah.
understand the slowness of this. Like he says stuff, and they just stop. They say stuff.
I
don't know what's going on.
I don't know. It's just the pacing that they're going at.
I guess
it's whatever at this point.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. If you're looking for like you're jumping super high in the sky and you're long monologues and you're throwing, that's you're not looking for D&D. D&D is for going in the labyrinth and finding the Minotaur and going in a dungeon.
Okay, we're just taking role playing completely out of D&D now for some reason. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. Fucking. Pizza Funk, exactly. D&D is the pizza, and the modules and additional books are the toppings. I agree.
Yes,
absolutely. D&D is so much more than just combat. Everyone understands this, right? Like role playing is they seem to be taking role playing just completely out regardless. I don't understand. It's okay. It's fine. If that's the standard we're going for, what? Role play in my role playing game? Insanity. I know.
Yeah, it's not like it says that on the very front of the book.
Right. This is the thing, right? If this is the standard that we're at, I still don't agree. It's just we need to make this clearer, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi guys, you're thinking of Monopoly. That's true.
Yeah, the labyrinth, it's jail.
These are your systems.
Yeah. Spectacle, that's what these do.
That's right. That's what they're made for. Honestly, if you want fantasy and spectacle, Earthdawn's a good system for that. I don't know what
D&D can do spectacle too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bunch of anime fans and you're deciding to get D&D, I think you'd probably be happier with one of these, honestly.
Really?
You could.
Now,
you very well could. Okay, that's all. Let's just you could. Fine.
Yeah. Hey, Alejo.
Yeah. Hey.
We're playing an anime campaign.
Yeah, I know.
How do you like it in D&D?
Oh god, I hate it so much. I wish we were playing in Big Eyes Small Mouth that I just found out about.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
No, I just
maybe next time.
Right, exactly. Right?
I guess my campaign is just not good because it's D&D and we're using anime tropes.
Right? So stupid.
So stupid.
Weird range. Something that a lot of people, for some reason, get with a lot, but really should. And D&D a replacement for any of these games. D is almost the opposite of D&D. D&D is very serious most of the time, or it's supposed to be. If you don't want that, if you want,
have you ever heard of a comedy campaign?
Supposed.
You remember the time we played as 3 Tabaxi brothers and we were fucking doing a circus?
Yeah, I do. Like it's apparently
that was so serious.
D&D is supposed to be serious. You're fine. This, like legitimately, D&D is apparently supposed to be serious all the time. There's never, you're not supposed to play with having fun.
So let me ask you this. This has actually brought up a thought.
Hmm.
Out of all the games that you know of,
yeah,
which game do you think lends itself to being serious the majority of the time?
Call of Cthulhu.
Yes, that's what I was going to say too.
Yep.
Because like jokes have their place in it, but the tone is not supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be lighthearted.
Sure.
Like characters can, go out to eat and have like, a nice lighthearted meal or hell, even a vacation to restore some sanity.
Yeah.
But the majority of the game is supposed to be very serious. I would never think that of D&D ever.
Exactly.
D&D is literally those vampire. Vampires are another good one.
See, that's the thing. I would honestly say vampires can be more silly as well, because vampires can be a variety of different like personalities and shit.
It's true. The
same thing is true for humans in Call of Cthulhu, but in Call of Cthulhu, my thing is like, hey, you are you are in these situations, you use comedy as you're breaking the tension, right? You're using it to give yourself a bit of like relief from the craziness that you are experiencing, right?
Yeah.
It's not the point.
Oh.
It's just there for you to use as a tool.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, they're like that can be your character's coping device.
Yes, exactly.
Old school D&D and people dying left and right at level 1 is hilarious. I can't imagine treating that super seriously. Yeah, right? Because if you start to reading that seriously, you're going to get fucking pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's your own system, you damn comedians. Exactly, dude. I don't...
Oh, God. Oh, fucking... I'm not getting all the comments again. Damn it. Live chat.
Just put it to live
There
chat.
we go. Got it.
Want something kooky, something strange? This is it. And Paranoia tops this list. Okay. Easy enough. I mean, the whole thing is based around you dying a lot in it, so you can die and then jump right back in the action. Now, I actually know
a little bit about Paranoia. Okay. Seth Skorkowski has a good video on Paranoia. Basically, he reviewed a more recent edition of it. Mm-hmm. And long story short, you are all living in this gigantic underground facility, and upstairs on the surface, there's like total nuclear annihilation.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And you're all clones. Mm-hmm. And basically, you are trying to dick over your friends and do all kinds of weird, wacky shit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's very strange.
Okay,
but it is appealing.
Sure. Yeah. No, it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
A properly played game of played Game of Thrones style of fantasy should be on the serious side. So this is the thing, right? We've always said you set your tone in session 0, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your game's tone is going to be, it's going to be set there where you go, okay, guys, we're going to play, this is going to be more of a serious game, or, this is going to be more of a kind of loosey-goosey kind of, fun game, or, you get that into their heads so that then they go, okay, this is what we're doing. And again, even in Game of Thrones, there was comedy. Right?
Yeah.
You had characters that would tell jokes or were funny just because that was the way they were. It is serious a majority of the time, but comedy still has its place, right?
Also being super broken in a story similar to One Punch Man is a super serious story. It is. Mm-hmm. It is. There's a lot of comedy in One Punch Man that's really, really good, but I still believe that One Punch Man is truly a story about loneliness and being alone.
Ooh, that is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it didn't really come together because I was watching it more for the comedy and the beautiful fucking animation. Mm-hmm. Until the fight with Lord. Did you ever see One Punch Man?
I saw the first season.
Okay, you did. Okay, good. This is all about the first season. Okay. Until the fight with Lord Boros. Because at the end of that fight, both of them, Lord Boros, followed the prophecy. He was able to... okay. Do you remember the dream that Saitama had where he was fighting the under people?
Yes, and he was actually, needing to do more than one punch. Yeah.
Yes, he was fighting them, and there was this moment where it zoomed into, his heart, and there was a boom, boom. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yeah.
After that scene... it shows him standing on top of a mountain of underworlder bodies, and he's panting heavily.
Yep.
That scene, at least in my opinion, I don't know if I'm not exactly a filmologist or animeologist.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's it.
Yes. But in that scene, it shows him being sated and satisfied because he had to fight. He had to succeed. He didn't just boop done.
Right.
He had to put in effort. And if you remember, and if you noticed, I don't know if you did, during the Boros fight, when Boros is charging up Roaring Star Cannon, the same thing happens. He gets that same exact heartbeat right before he launches it. So in that fight, Boros came to Earth following a prophecy of someone who could challenge him. He found it in Saitama. He wound up dying, but he found it.
Yep.
And Saitama was left alone again.
Right.
He still barely had to put any effort into the strongest thing he had ever seen.
Consecutive normal punches.
And in that fight, where he's lying to Boros, saying that like, you were really tough. And Boros said, no, you're lying. You had strength to spare. And then he just goes silent. He doesn't say anything else for the rest of the scene. And then he just walks away after Boros dies.
Yeah,
it's a story about loneliness because he is alone. He's at the peak. And there's no one that can ever hope to reach him. It's heartbreaking.
That makes a lot of sense. Actually,
sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking over you.
No, you're good. You're absolutely good. I like this point because absolutely, I can see that absolutely because,
like, honestly, that scene, like, I watched that fight for the first time. I thought it was beautiful and amazing because the animation, the music, it was fucking great.
Yeah,
and then
great.
Every subsequently time I watch that, it honestly makes me cry.
Oh, neat.
Because it's just really sad, to see he is alone. Fully and completely, because honestly, if I'm being honest, that's one of my biggest fears, is to be alone.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because I was that way for a long time. I didn't really have anyone to share my hobbies with.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not fun to have a lot and not be able to release it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what she said.
I feel you entirely. I understand.
And so that scene really resonates with me, and I really feel for Saitama in that scene. It's not really the same theme in the second season. It's a good theme, but it's not really about Saitama anymore. It's about a different character.
Okay.
It's still a really good season, though. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's seriousness with comedy is very, very important. Hell, we're doing that in the Devils and Dice campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Where 75% of it is comedy and goofy shit. And then when the serious stuff comes along, then your fucking attention is focused.
Yeah, it's true.
Because something important is happening. When Dispotter fucking shows up, no jokes, no happy music, not even relaxing music. It's tense music.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no relaxing going on here. But then when you get out of there, then you're back to the goof.
Exactly.
And so it makes those moments very, very effective.
Yeah, it really is a juxtaposition that actually shows it. Right?
That's what I got out of Gintama, because Gintama does the exact same thing, where there's super serious shit, and like 90% of it is fucking hysterical. Anyway, I've been talking way too long. Let's continue.
You're good. Hey, Kilchrono, set your tone in session 0, watch as your campaign becomes that meme where it turns into Monty Python.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens, right? It's always going to happen. Your players are going to have fun, right? It's just whatever. But hey, everyone seems to say that combat is all there is to D&D. Yeah, it's so annoying.
I know.
Consecutive one punches.
So annoying.
Nothing happened.
Clones, you are expected to die.
Yes, you're expected to die, and you die just because.
Right. Don't get attached to your character. Know that you might take let's take the elevator to the briefing, citizen, and the elevator crashes. Next clone. Like, wait, that's totally unfair. You got 5 more clones. And honestly, that's the game.
That's it. That's how it works. And then you have Tales from the Floating Vagabond, which I've read, but Garthon has played.
Many times. Tales from the Floating Vagabond. If you like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Callahan's Cross Time Saloon, Blackadder, crazy stuff, weird side humor, Tales from the Floating Vagabond, hard to find system, but absolutely fantastic for that. Not meant to be taken seriously at all. You could play any character from anything. Any character who would have a reason to walk into a bar, you could play in this game.
Oh, so I couldn't play as me.
Strange powers, like there's one power where you could cause a musical to start happening.
Which means everybody starts dancing with
singing
choreography.
and dancing, choreography, you and the bad guys. There's abilities to stay clean at all times. So straight, it's a wacky game. It's a lot of fun. It's comedy. But
so it's JoJo.
And I really enjoyed the system.
Oh man, dude, a JoJo style RPG would be fucking great.
One that's strange and great fun is Gamma World. You're a mutant something, and you never know an accident will happen to you with more powers. It can be played as a gritty, dark future, Mad Max style.
Ooh.
Every game I've been in has tried for that and always kind of devolved into weird, wacky hijinks to the crazy mutants across the wasteland.
Yeah, happens.
Because there's just so many. I was in a game where one of the characters was a mutant mushroom. Yes, he rolled that.
Nice.
He was a mutant mushroom,
So an
He had a
orc.
shield that was a stop sign. He had a ping golf club as a major weapon because he liked to yell ping when he was hitting people.
Okay.
See, you're describing it, and I'm thinking a slightly wackier version of heavy metal.
Yes, that's usually how most games end up, is wacky versions of heavy metal.
There it is.
And the system's made to do it. Because you're in a post-apocalyptic world, you have no idea of the time that was before, and you're a mutant hedgehog.
Bam.
Or mushroom.
Oh, no, kill Chrono. They don't.
They always have. Let's be honest.
I know it's basically just flurry of blows, but if that's actually legit, I mean, I imagine it's our North Arcana.
I don't know. It might have come out in Tasha's. I don't remember the Tasha's classes.
Yeah, wait, no, it was an actual thing where you have like a stand now.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. You have a stand.
Fucking hell.
Yep.
Damn. That's so
Yeah,
good.
Sorry, there's not much more to add to this part. It's just like every time they do this, they end with making some strange claim that D&D can't do something, and like that's when I have something to say. But when he's just talking about systems, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because there's not much to. I've heard of people, and Mar Hawkman in their chat, I've heard of people doing homebrew D&D variants where you're basically using Saiyans and Nameks with key blast based combat and stuff. That'd be hard to run. That'd be
Sure.
cool.
Way of the Astral Self. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, right? You have this guy in their chat even saying, "I've heard of this because it can be done."
Yeah.
Right.
And I like how they talk to some of their people who comment, but not the ones that don't, not the ones that go again what they say.
Right.
Ugh.
Orbited human. Gamma World is the original and Traveler. I think
I
you
don't know.
mistyped it there.
I think yeah.
Traveler. Sorry, is an original and Traveler. Traveler is a great game too.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah, Gamma World. If you can find it, there's newer editions. But yeah, I like those games. All right, for the drama people, for the dramatic, like let's say you're always trying.
Wait a minute. Stop. Warhammer dramatic?
I mean, so you can. That's the thing, right? Like,
I guess so.
I would also then put D&D can also be dramatic. Like, what the fuck? I cannot believe in that in good faith that these people have not had a game where drama has been a big part.
Yeah,
right?
Either that or they just have shit DMs.
Something, dude, I don't understand, because it's literally like D&D you can have like every time that, like you said, every time that we talk to Dispotter, that's drama, right? Because it's just like that tenseness in the air, the fucking like anything that we say could maybe be bad. Like
it could set him off.
Yeah, it could offend him. Like, I don't think that's the case, like, realistically, in my brain. But for us in the room as the characters, fucking, we're terrified of the guy, right?
Because like, he can just take one step, tap you with the staff, and you're a pile of dust.
You're a pile of dust, exactly. Like, that's drama. We're going after a big beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
A great beast is all we've been really told. It's a lizard-like great beast, kind of dragony maybe. I don't know, but like once we encounter that, I'm pretty sure that'll be dramatic. Hell, when we encounter fucking spoilers if you haven't watched up to fucking current Devils and Dice, when we meet fucking actual Ezekiel, that'll be dramatic. Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much potential for drama in D&D, regardless of what it is, you can make the story dramatic.
Yeah. And hell, when you met a certain character after a certain character got kidnapped, quote unquote,
that was dramatic. Yeah, we had the whole scene with them, and then, like, actually meeting the boss, and it's like, yeah, fucking, oh my god. Like,
I still fucking pat myself on the back that I was able to actually pull off a fucking...
It was great.
Sorry, don't mean to toot my own horn.
Oh, you're good. Also, monks in Pathfinder 2, you literally get a Super Saiyan feat at level 18. Shit is dope. That's awesome.
Nice.
I guess my game doesn't mean my rules to them. I know.
Yeah.
Apparently,
it's like,
you need to be playing D&D a certain way, and that's
you need to play it the way they want you to play it.
This is
because they care how you play it,
right? And remember when we were reading the comments last time, and the one guy was saying, "Wrong, bad, play bad," or "Wrong way." Think or something.
Yeah,
like that's what these people do. Right?
Yeah,
and that's not what we're trying to say no to that. It's fucking
Wait a minute.
stupid.
Wait. When was this put out? February?
February, yeah.
Why the hell does Heathen Dog still has his Christmas tree out?
Some people are just slow at it, right?
I know. But, like, so Vampire, I've never played Vampire. Keep your weird gay drama to these games. Leave our game alone.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, these people are so weird.
I've never played Vampire. Is it very dramatic? I just know that it's...
Oh, yeah,
like,
it can be.
I always saw vampires being very, very intrigue.
You could.
You know?
This is the thing. Vampire is very diverse, I think.
It's true.
You quite literally, depending on like your clan that you come from, like you have your abilities and stuff that you're good at. But regardless, I've literally seen. I saw some people play it where they had to help a movie star in a movie set, and they had to make sure that everything went well, because that was literally a part of like a plan to get him to get famous so that it could be better for the vampires who were actually controlling things behind the scenes, so they could get more money and stuff. But it was like ridiculous because they were at a movie set, they were using their vampire powers to help these guys like with their
special
movie.
effects.
Yeah, exactly. It was stupid.
That's great.
And it was just like, yeah, you can play it however you want, just like any TTRPG, right?
Yeah. Man, I just love the Masquerade, the whole thing.
Oh, the Masquerade is great, yeah.
I just love that whole concept.
Guys, these are just the optimal way to play these styles. Anything else is just the illusion of choice. Thank you.
We're never gonna... I'm getting sick with this illusion.
Vampire is full 2000s edgelord. Think Underworld. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. When we were looking into it, we did a episode on it. When we were looking into it, oh yeah, Bloodlines 2. I hope that's good. I fucking hope.
Yeah, me too. Because I played a little bit of Bloodlines. That's basically my only exposure to Vampire.
Yeah, it's very.
I actually have one of my friends. She bought the PDF of the 5th edition, and she gave that to me because she was having some issues with it. She wanted me to help walk her through some of the issues with it. I never actually got. I think she just probably forgot about it because never got back to her. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I actually have that newest edition of it.
There you go. Yeah, well, legitimately, like, they literally even put in that that the Masquerade is like has been broken, and like they're trying to remember, like with the whole the government agencies and everybody has a phone and shit, and like they're just trying to blot it out a bit. But it's more that they're maintaining it now because they have to try to like reestablish it more so. Like governments like know about it and stuff, but they also can't really stop them.
They can't pin them down.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. So it's one of those things.
Man, I loved the Masquerade.
I mean, you can still play with it, you know. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can always just say that didn't happen.
Yeah. The best drama focused game is Smallville. It's really cool. Okay, cool.
Oh.
What you're doing, or is the decision we're making right? Are we just propping up an oligarchic system that self-perpetuates land? Did the princess want to be saved?
Yeah. Number one,
or should we save ourselves?
Yeah, see, if you're saying stuff like that, number one, you're playing the wrong game.
Right.
Really bad. Two, you should be playing one of these games.
Yes.
Okay. So apparently we can't have existential choice and drama in D&D at all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, it's God. I really wish I could talk about Zeke's situation because that's pretty fucking existential.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, quite literally. Like, yeah. From what we know, what little we know about it, it's already like, oh fuck, right? You have to.
Well, I mean, know, essentially, you know what he knows.
Okay. So yeah, quite literally, like everything that we know then is like, oh my god, you have to deal with that shit now because
like
fuck, like
you are not you. So you know, it's that.
Yeah, exactly. Oligarchic system is not a phrase I'd ever expect to hear when talking about a TTRPG, at least outside of world building. Yeah, exactly. People don't talk like that unless they're playing it up, right?
Well, actually, there actually is a 3.5 race that uses an oligarchical government.
Yeah, no, I think what he means is just like in casual conversation.
Yeah.
When somebody's doing that, they're being dramatic. Exactly. For the
Yeah.
segment, exactly.
Just hoping.
The one time I played Smallville, we turned it into a DC/Cthulhu Mythos mix-up, and my character was the Chosen of Dagon. That's rad as hell.
Shit.
That sounds really fun.
Ooh.
Masquerade. Oh, the
Made
beast
for you.
within.
Oh my god. It is the old World of Darkness was a step under LARPing. The new World of Darkness, especially Vampire 5th edition, is basically LARPing.
Pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. So if you want drama, if you want acting will get you through the day, then Vampire's your bag.
Yep. It's
All right, that's how
dark.
it is.
It's sad, and you're supposed to go with it. Feel those
Yes.
feels, baby. Vampire.
Yep. All
Vampires
the
for you.
feels. Right
That's
here.
right.
I
Also,
want
what's
to
great
I
for
want
it-
to talk about my character a little bit in my Wednesday games because
Go for it.
quite literally the whole thing. Okay, so his name is Gimbal. For those of you who don't know, he is a tiefling wild magic sorcerer.
Well, you're playing wrong.
yeah, I'm already playing wrong. First off,
Yeah.
Second off, quite literally his whole thing. What he is working towards is trying to find a way to get control of his wild magic, whether
Yes.
that be through at the moment he's got a list of like potion ingredients basically to or different ways of herbally treating it to nullify his magical like abilities a bit.
Okay.
But he's looking for ways to do that, but that's not a permanent solution. He's also considering heavily of getting rid of his magic altogether. Like that is
How is that? Is that possible?
I don't know, right? Like the gods exist. Maybe if I
True.
appeal to them, right, or I find something and give me a wish. That's the thing, right? He is so sick of this, what he views as an affliction and not a gift, right?
Yeah.
Because people have died because of this thing. Because it's wild magic, right? When you're
Yeah.
using it, you might die. Is an anti-magic a thing? Yeah. It might be. I don't know. That's the thing. I'm still like trying to feel around in the world a little bit, see what else I can do. But yes, some of the herbs and stuff actually do anti-magic kind of thing. So yes. But anyway, so quite literally, he believes himself to be a hindrance to like everyone around him because of the fact that he has accidentally killed people with like becoming a fireball by accident, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so he, in the current town that we're in, there was an orphanage. Now he was also an orphan. I know, original, but
Yep.
he was also.
I mean, honestly, I can understand that because it's like, oh, this kid has fucking wild magic. We can't keep him around. He might blow the house up.
Exactly. I never gave the motivation of the parents why they. Well,
there you
left
go.
him.
Have a
And
motivation.
also, I kind of wanted to keep it vague just in case because they're still alive, right? You
Ah.
can still find them.
Yeah.
But anyway, he doesn't want to. He doesn't need to. But so he goes to this orphanage, right? Because he wants to compare it to the one that he grew up in and see if there are any other tiefling kids. Because he's very much like, I want to make sure that my kind is taken care of, right?
Yeah, he wants to help other tieflings.
Exactly. So he goes there, he finds out about these three, and he talks with them, and he talks with the rest of the kids there. There's like 35 kids, whatever. But he picks those three out, and he talks to them a bit. He finds out that one of them is in the same situation that he was in, right?
Ooh.
They are now starting to exhibit wild magic, right? And he's like, and immediately I was like I was already in the emotional phase of just like, hey, you guys, don't ever forget your true name. Don't let anyone tell you that your true name is bad. Like, quite literally, you can do whatever you want to do when you grow up out of this orphanage, right? Because that's what he has done for himself, at least somewhat. And like, he had to change his own name, but he always remembers it, and he gave them his real name, right?
What is his real name?
I've given it out on in the campaign, so it's Galamber Art. Because tieflings have that whole like virtue kind of thing, right?
They have their name like Jester.
Yep. And so I was like, I told them his name and everything, and then they told him about the whole magic thing because he did a little light show along with his playing of his flute, right? And so once I was told, oh, this little tiefling girl who is in this orphanage is doing this, is like going through the shit and like is going to have a hard time now. my brain immediately went, I need a minute, right? Because I needed to start thinking of like exactly what he would do. And so I set him out after thinking about it for a good few minutes, set him about to get this little tiefling girl out of the orphanage and into the care of the person that he had talked to for the magical affliction, right? And they were already rich because they were a doctor and part of a family that was a part of this like they owned a lot of the town. And like it was this whole thing of like, dude, you got to take care of this kid, because if I was in this kid's shoes now, I would want somebody to do this for me so that they could help me control what I have before I get to such a point where I might kill somebody, right? And so that was the whole thing of like finding her, through the guy, finding a focus for her, like trying to get her to actually try to control it, and then go, okay, hey, if she needs this stuff, get her this stuff, because like she might need to have it not be as hard to control or as powerful as the wild magic is, right? Like some of this stuff to put on a bomb or something. And it was this whole thing, and I was fucking welling up occasionally because like Gimbal has a lot of traits that I have put into him that I have, right? That is just like self-doubt and self-loathing and all that kind of stuff, right? Because fucking I understand those feelings. And so like then acting that shit out and like trying to make it so that somebody else won't feel that way, hopefully, right?
Yeah,
that was a big thing for me and for him. So like that was my drama, that was my emotional moment,
that was your magnum opus.
that was it, dude. That was really good. And, like, I fucking loved that session because of it, and I hope that other people who were in that didn't find it boring, right? I really hope so. But...
Well, they did.
Right, exactly.
Because you were playing Dungeons & Dragons.
Exactly.
And
not Vampire
whatever.
or...
Yeah, not
Warhammer.
Vampire or Amber, Warhammer.
Right? Like, it's so ridiculous to me that this isn't possible in D&D to these people. Right?
Oh my god! So check the memes.
Oh? Okay, hang on.
The one on the left got me like real bad.
You got memes. I like memes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why
are you playing monsters?
I fucking love the frog head. It just looks so fucking derpy.
Hold on, I'll show you guys in a second here. Let me get to
Oh my god. Pizza.
Thank you for the memes. Memes are
Stop being so good at making memes. Shit.
But why are you playing them?
Oh god. Man, is that a
man.
flying cat?
Yeah.
What is the name of that? I know that has an actual
I don't
name.
remember. It's been years.
Oh man, if only that like pixie guy was a jackalope instead of just a rabbit. Fuck, that'd be cool.
But yeah, so
I would totally ride a jackalope around.
Yeah. So yeah, this whole thing for only drama can be in these other systems and not D&D. I hard disagree. You can make it however
this
you
is
fucking
ridiculous.
want. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Ripless from Pathfinder there, the frog race. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Playing is Amber. Books, it's a crazy universe. If you haven't read the books, the RPG is enough to get you through and the ideas, but it's a diceless role-playing system. There's no dice.
Okay.
There's skills, there's kind of
That's
some
fine.
It's
interaction.
never really understood
It's hard to explain.
the obsession
People who play
with
Amber-
diceless RPGs.
I don't know. I think they're fine. It's just
Yeah, like I just know that whenever they're brought up, it's like, oh man, it doesn't use dice. Wow. And like,
right. It's a novel concept.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh,
okay,
man.
I mean, I play RPGs because I like rolling dice. I don't know why everybody wants to take them away from me.
I don't know, man. It's just again, like if you like it, you like it. I'm sure I would like it. It's just it's not a selling point, right?
Yeah.
It's just whatever.
Yeah.
There are diehards.
Yes.
AmberCon is still ongoing. People love Amber, the world, the characters, and also the strange role-playing system that it plays. But it
somebody
really
loves
is
the world and
heavily
characters
focused
of D&D.
around role-playing.
What about them?
And so, if you're a dramatic person,
Well,
and
they don't.
you really want to get into Amber.
You want that drama in your games?
Yep.
Then here it is.
Yep. And Amber's a pretty big and tight community. Kind of like vampire players, honestly.
Drama is easy to make in D&D. Just bring up PHP Rangers. Oh, video isn't showing. Sorry. Yep, you're right.
Oh man.
The whole separate Amber is, Amber's could be for you. Also, I put on this list. I chose this one, was Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Yeah, why? Please.
Now, it is a gritty, dark fantasy world.
Okay.
In places, you could say point at some things that are a little wacky, but the roleplay game is thick. It's big. There's a huge world in it, and everything is kind of sad and kind of dark.
Okay.
And there are all sorts of crazy classes.
Well,
to play.
I mean,
remember playing a rat
the orcs aren't very sad.
No, they're
wouldn't say
pretty.
the
They're
Skaven
pretty.
are sad.
Yeah, they're pretty happy about it. Honestly.
They're pretty happy. They're wacky. I wouldn't say that fucking Nagash is sad.
No,
He's
exactly.
pretty cool. He's chill.
This video seems to be a list of not D&D RPG systems, which would be fine if you just did it like that. Of like, these are alternatives to RPGs that you could be playing.
These are a lot of other really good RPGs that you can also play.
They keep positing that D&D can't do these things, and it's like, no, you don't understand D&D somehow. I don't get it. It's so simple. Dice are fine in RPGs if I stop rolling nat ones. Exactly.
Well, see, here's your problem, Vortexus. I had that problem. If you're dice cursed, go on Amazon and buy yourself like a $4 dice cup. Or hell, just use a fucking disposable plastic cup. I'm just fucking, I gotta have a dice cup because I'm a fucking RPG player. And play and roll your dice in a dice cup. Oh, you're using Roll20. That's why.
Then you're fucked.
That's why.
No, you're fine.
I know.
I get the point they're trying to make, but they're framing that point poorly. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like,
it's
again,
terrible.
like these are alternatives to these are other systems that are more focused on these things. I get that. That is fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with Warhammer Fantasy for being more dramatic, though. But still,
because it's really not.
I don't know. But again, still, it's just pretty sure Roll20 is algorithmically biased against players. Yeah. But again, it's still just like, hey man, D&D can do this. That's
it can do all of this.
Yeah.
Class. I was a rat catcher. One of my items was rats. I had 1d6 stars. Stick, they were dead. But we started the adventure. I had already caught some rats.
See, if you were playing a rat catcher, Jesus, my fucking voice.
The system is fun.
If you were playing a rat catcher, you were gonna get eaten by Skaven, dude.
Death is around the corner. Everyone's miserable, and that's how it's supposed to be. And
I think the lizard men are fine.
This is the thing, right? Why not put Call of Cthulhu here? Instead of switch both Call of Cthulhu and Warhammer, because what you're saying is everything you're saying about Call of Cthulhu as well. Like you are just saying it's sad and like it's dark, and I'm like, okay, Call of Cthulhu can be that way. D&D can be that. Anything can be that way. You just make the story that way. That's just how it is.
D&D can have some of these things, but it requires effort on the part of the group. But many of these other RPGs are designed to emulate some of these things better. That's fair.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I agree entirely. But just because it takes some work doesn't mean that D&D can't do it, right?
Yes, exactly.
They are completely going with the argument of, hey, D&D, just don't even try it, right?
Yeah, that's the problem.
And that's like, come on.
Warhammer Fantasy is Call of Cthulhu pretending to be a fantasy game.
Dude, that sounds awesome. There you go. Sure, fuck it. I don't know.
Well, okay, you have to. It's Call of Cthulhu pretending to be fantasy if you're fighting against chaos or the Skaven.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just fucking batshittery. Because that's Warhammer.
To me in particular, I go last in every combat encounter. That sucks, dude. Dude, Brogan's also dice cursed. Okay, we understand.
yeah, he is. Absolutely.
If you like a dramatic world, I really think Warhammer Fantasy could be for you. Game, fun system.
If you're looking for some just a fighting game, you want a lot of combat, you want a lot of hand-to-hand combat,
and you love
because you can't do that.
Exactly, martial arts movies. You like Jackie Chan, you like all that stuff. Then these games are for you. Feng Shui, role-playing game. Feng Shui. What? Come on.
Feng Shui.
I said it properly.
You pronounced it wrong
with an American accent.
You didn't say Feng Shui though. That would have been worse.
Because that's not.
It's just like, hey, Fuck you, man. I said it properly with an American accent. Okay, so you didn't say it properly.
It's not. Oh my
funny.
fucking god!
That's fucking funny.
It does. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
I gotta say this.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just because you're saying it in an American accent doesn't mean that you've said it correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying it
funny.
correctly in an American accent doesn't fucking mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I can pronounce the fucking Norse word God or Damarung, but that's not a fucking pronounced.
It's so bad. Oh my god, so dumb. Problem with D&D is there's the expectation of heroic fantasy. If you want that helpless feeling of existential horror that Lovecraft can evoke, you can't really do that well with that framing. No,
that's the thing though. If you outline in session 0,
yeah,
I'm going to be doing a kind of Lovecraftian campaign, you can very easily do that. Hell,
yeah.
I was going to do something like that in the very first campaign that I ever ran.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, quite literally with Heroes of Horror, which is a 3.5 supplement, right? They literally have things in there to give you taint, right? And taint is supposed to be this ever-present thing that makes you start to get phobias. It's literally your sanity in a way, right? Because the more you get, the more bad shit will start to happen to you, right? So again, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's literally like the expectation set and not D&D itself. I think it's, quite literally, like you said, taint is never a great word. Well, I like it. So quite literally, I think it's just in session 0. If you say, hey guys, we're going to try something. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we're going to try to do more of an existential horror kind of game. I quite literally use D&D as my basis for a horror one-shot, in which I had my players go against a Wendigo.
Yes.
And quite literally having them, like, they didn't know what it was until basically it started doing shit to them. But I had a werewolf in there just in case to be a red herring, but they never found that until he was dead. They quite literally, I tried to use the imagery and the smell and the feel of the area to give that feeling of it being wrong to such a degree of, like, now this is horror, right? Like, we have these senses that shouldn't be the way they are. Like, we're going against something that we can't see that can see us apparently and is making weird kid noises in the background, right? Like it's playing, quote unquote, playing the audio of these people that it's killed in their final moments to use to lure people away. It's only because they rolled really high with their perceptions that I was like, okay, yeah, so that they're saying these things, but you hear that the voice is just off, right? It is just slightly like, not metallic, but it sounds that way, It's not that way, but it sounds it, right? It's just but why would you want to with D&D when you have all these other options that do it better? Better meaning the game's mechanical systems better supporting the themes and genres of the games. I don't know, maybe I just want to try it.
Yeah, the thing is, you might not want to do, if you have Call of Cthulhu and D&D and horror, maybe you want to have a fantasy horror scenario.
Yeah. I mean,
and you can, like, maybe you want to do a horror scenario that uses Dracula-style vampires, but they're actually intimidating and they're actually scary and horrifying, and you have to defeat them. And that's one of the other things. You can do the existential and Lovecraftian horror really, really well with Call of Cthulhu, but that's what it's best at. And so it can't really do the other ones particularly well unless you start changing the system. You can't really have the scenarios in Call of Cthulhu where you beat the monster unless you're playing Pulp Cthulhu, which again is a different system. It's designed to do it a different way. So if you want to have the existential horror that's like really grim and dark, Call of Cthulhu is obviously superior. But if you want to do it slightly differently with a fantasy setting or a a future setting, you will probably want to use the other system.
And
like you can do. There is a God, I can't remember the name of the actual thing. There was a cyberpunk horror scenario. It was Renraku Arcology. That was it. It was called the Renraku Arcology, and essentially what happens is, if you know what an arcology, do you know what an arcology is or no?
No.
Okay, an arcology is essentially a giant building that is a city in a building.
Oh, cool.
And so, like, tens of thousands of people live there. There are shops. There's all the infrastructure of a city in this one building. And so it's this massive fucking tower. And basically, the whole thing, it was built to be like a preservation kind of thing, where, you know, it's got like 12 feet of solid steel armor around it, you know. And all of a sudden, one day, the whole thing just closes. Everything is cut off. There's no communication. Nothing is coming in or out. And it's been that way for like a couple months. And you've only just, like, at the very start of the campaign, it's a module. At the very start, you are being sent in after a couple months. They've only just now found another way in. You're getting sent in and you have no idea what's going on in there. And so you have this sealed city that has something going on. And I believe in the module, it was like there was some kind of cyber bee or cyber fly or something. It would go around, it would bite you, and it would put in some kind of nanobot that basically turned your cyber parts into like hostile shit.
Ooh.
So, like, imagine you're walking around in the arcology and you have a cyber arm. The fly will, like, bite you on, like, your neck or something, and you're still human on your neck. After a few hours, the nanobot gets into the circuitry and, like, shit in your cyber arm, and all of a sudden your cyber arm reaches up and starts strangling you and kills you. So now you have this really, really nasty body horror kind of thing. And you have like cyber zombies where you have, like, imagine a guy with like 2 cyber legs and a cyber arm. The body is dead and the arm is like pulling it along.
That's cool.
And like the legs are pushing it. It's like gonna try to attack you and shit. That's good fucking horror.
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
not to cut you off, but like, okay, so I see what you guys are saying, right? So you say, right, just like you have to hack D&D to better fit what you would want to do. I should say I didn't mean there's anything wrong with horror elements in fantasy settings. I've done it plenty. I mean more nuanced stuff, like focusing on that Lovecraftian horror specifically. Likewise, I'd run Vampire for an urban horror setting before trying to revamp D&D into it, purely because Vampire is already designed for that. That Renraku module... that Renraku module came from the glory days of Shadowrun. Horror elements in D&D are plenty. Okay themselves, a la Ravenloft. Hell, one of my favorite encounters was a ring-esque Onryo ghoul based on Hisako from Killer Instinct. So yes, I see what you guys are saying. Just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that you can't. That's the thing, right?
The problem here is that they keep saying you can't do it in D&D.
And I'm not,
that's the problem.
And I'm not saying there aren't systems that do stuff better or are more tailored to them. That's not what I'm saying at all. There are. Right? Like we've said, Call of Cthulhu is more for Lovecraftian horror, but you can put Lovecraftian horror in D&D, in the D&D system, right? Like, it doesn't... just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that someone else doesn't want to take the time and the effort to do it, right? Because just because something is hard to do or needs tweaking to do doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, right?
Exactly.
Because like that if that was the case, then we would never write anything because it's just hard, right? We wouldn't do anything because it's just hard, right? Like, quite literally, it's just, you can do this stuff if you put in the work. That's all you need to do. And I agree that these things, if you want to just go for it in the system and you don't want to do that work, then do these. Absolutely. Yeah. That's fine. But you can't go around saying, hey, man, D&D can't do this. It's like, no.
Yeah, and honestly, that's another good point. Sometimes it's a lot easier to hack D&D than it is to get people to try a new system.
Yes.
That's a bit, yeah, and I'm pretty sure there are Lovecraftian inspired monsters in D&D.
Yes,
Absolutely, there
are.
Actually, you know what? I was going to post this when we were talking. This is a monster in D&D. This is one of the ones I tried to use during my campaign. That is a monster in D&D called Alabar, Opener of the Way. And you can go ahead and show them that.
Put that big old boy on the screen. There you go.
And that Alabar is literally a living planet that basically got sent to Cthulhu land, aka the Far Realm, and he's back and he's fucking pissed and he's gonna fucking eat the galaxy. And there's one of your really big Lovecraftian monsters there because that's a planet. You can't do shit to that.
No, exactly.
Those eyes there are like the size of continents.
Yeah, exactly. There's an entire subclass dedicated to Lovecraftian horror in the base game. That's true. Chaosium did do a Cthulhu Mythos book for 5e. Yeah, exactly.
They did. They did.
That's the thing, right? Like, again, I understand, again, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it, right? Like, that's fair. Absolutely. But if you do want to do it, you shouldn't be discouraged by these people here who say you can't do it, right? Because that's some shit. That's some fuck, right? Yo, we fought this in our 5e game. Hey, kid.
Yeah,
there you
nice.
Go. Cool. Majora's Mask.
Yeah, right?
Like, okay. Let's see about the last 11 minutes of this, because I gotta piss like a fucking racehorse.
Okay.
American accent.
That's
just saying it dumb.
But Feng Shui is the action movie role-playing game. If you love The Killers, Chow Yun-Fat, you love those films, Feng Shui is the role-playing game for that world.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, interesting powers, interesting ideas. The way weapons work is weird. Like, it's hard to actually kill someone, but really easy to shoot them a bunch and make them almost dead.
That's weird.
Just like in the movies.
Just like in the movies.
Oh, okay.
You can kill a lot of dudes, but it's actually a little hard to kill a main character. Not really. They could do it if they're meant to, though. So it actually gets that gritty, over-the-top action feel a lot. So if you're with a group of fans, for those, especially like the old Chow Yun-Fat films, Feng Shui is custom made for you. But Hong Kong action films, Ip Man, all that, Feng Shui is your bag. The Street Fighter. I know this sounds weird. The Street Fighter storytelling game.
It does sound weird.
All right. Cover kind of
actually sounds pretty cool.
It's actually made by the same people who made the original Vampire game.
Oh.
It's an old White Wolf game.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it can seem kind of simplistic at first, but the actual combat systems are pretty deep. They actually reflect different martial arts within it. And if you want to make a Street Fighter style campaign where you are like from the video game Street Fighter 2 type character, that kind of power level, and you wander the world or you're in tournaments or stuff like that, this is the system for you.
Well, can I play as a guy who fucking does the electric juggling against the fucking wall? Because that's all I want to do.
Just beat Blanca.
Just play Blanca, fucking shock him up against the wall, and just cheese the whole thing.
Street Fighter RPG is really cool. Yeah, no, that sounds neat. It looks like, with this art that I see right here, it looks kind of like it's got the Street Fighter movie kind of thing going on. Because this Blanca is not built.
Oh God, yeah.
He's not Jack. He's not like big, and that gives me a little bit of a weird vibe. But I'm pretty sure it's before that, so it's fine. It's just the weird art.
They interact, the way they balance out against each other. It seems clunky at first, but once it clicks, it's actually a lot of fun. This system. There actually are some expanded books that really help open it up. If you're gonna play this game, get the expansion book.
Sure.
The basic book is not enough.
Get the DLCs
and ignore the Savat slipper rules, because those are bullshit. Excuse my language, but they are.
Okay. Are you gonna
but
explain?
Savat as a martial art is fine.
Okay.
Right, and then we come to ninjas and super spies. You were talking about getting deep into specific martial arts. Ninjas and super spies goes
Mega
just
deep.
Bottom of the ocean deep.
Really?
Into specific
Does it
martial
have
arts
Krav
styles.
Maga?
There are dozens of martial arts styles
That's
that
cool.
have been that they researched the actual lore, the actual
Okay. You're selling me.
People who founded the martial arts, what they're
people
known
founded
for.
martial arts, all of their powers that they were purported to have in legend, and you can get those.
Like Dim Mak.
Dim Mak's skin hardening.
Okay. Now you see, they're selling me on this. I like this.
Yeah, no, that
That's pretty
sounds
cool.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? That makes me want to get that book, read up on the martial arts, and see how many of those things can be applied to monks in D&D.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And then what you do, instead of having that one person be a monk, you make an entire party of monks.
Oh, yeah. And you have
then you have them be all from the same school.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, or the same dojo or whatever.
Right.
And that way you have just like, it's all one big dojo in one order, but they have different like classes, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be cool. Speaking of
ninjas,
I hope
Super
they
Spices.
bring up old TMNT RPG. It looked into it and it looks sick.
Ooh,
cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Literally make your own mutant with martial arts. Fuck, that's cool.
That sounds awesome. I want to be a big old bear man.
Yeah. You don't want to be a frog man?
No, I don't want to be a frog man.
And then Ninjas and Super Spice is comprehensive in its martial arts options. That's very cool. That's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
See, again, this is good. I like this.
Yeah,
we're
that's
learning
excellent.
something.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
100-headed punch, whatever. You can find a martial art that is historically would have that, and you can get it. Or, like I said, ninjas and super spies, you could be a secret agent. You could be James Bond in this thing. You can do that too. Or you could be an actual ninja assassin. You could do that as well. And it's a Palladium system, and you can base it in the past. You can base it present day. I wouldn't base it in the future, but you could.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah,
I would like it in the future.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now they're saying I wouldn't do it, but you could. Whatever floats your boat.
Now they're saying
Thank
that
you.
shit.
Okay, cool. Right in the same video. Cool. Yeah.
23 minutes in.
Book came out around 1990, I think. Oh, really? Wow. Nice.
If you present, it has modern weaponry. Lots and lots of modern modern as of 1990.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of weaponry, other than guns, it's still fairly modern.
Oh, easy.
Palladium will still sell it to you.
Easy. Oh yeah, definitely. So if you really want to get deep lore heavy in your martial arts games, this is it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
this is
that's
it right
really
here.
cool.
This will do it for
It
you.
only floats your boat
It
a
only
bit.
floats your boat if it validates my argument. Oh,
Says it
I know,
reminds me of
right?
Top Secret. Top Secret was a fun game, but
we have such good fucking viewers, dude.
I know.
But this is much more martial arts focused. Oh yeah. And those are just some suggestions we had. Like I said, a lot of people, you're playing D&D, but you're looking for something else. You know,
You don't know it.
My
That's
bonus
right. It's
DSS
like
confirmation
you're
bias.
buying a car. You're like, well, everyone has a red one. So I guess I'll get a red Corolla like everyone else. Well, no, my friend, you don't want a red Corolla.
Not in your heart.
What you're looking for, you might actually be looking for a minivan.
So, and again, I agree that there are people who play D&D because they want to get into that stuff, and then they don't like it just because that's not the system that they want, right?
Yeah.
And that's fair, absolutely. And that would be good if that was the entire point of the video.
Yeah,
But that's not the point of the video. It's just
the point is D&D can't do anything other than fighting monsters and going through a dungeon. That's it.
Exactly. So
Even though we've learned from Cody that that's Pathfinder's job.
yeah, exactly. That's only Pathfinder. So dumb. So dumb. Weird no
Hate it.
Shadowrun, Fate, or Starfinder. Yeah, that is very strange. There's no talk of like actual sci-fi stuff, really. Like they said it's weird stuff, and that's the closest they got. But that was it. Like they didn't really have any sci-fi, which is interesting.
Sci-fi's weird.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But that's really what that'll have the storage space you need to carry all the stuff. Or maybe you want something a little faster.
Just leave our game alone.
No. They want the minivan because you can open all the doors now on your key.
Or maybe you want
it's like magic.
Maybe you want a monster truck. You know. And you're like pretending you have a monster truck by, you know, playing Leonard Skinner really loud every time you roll down the highway in your red Corolla. But what you want is a truck. And now you can I just showed you the truck. It's there, it's waiting for you.
There it is. It's for
Or
you.
the minivan, that's waiting for you too. What game would be the minivan? Palladium Fantasy. But I didn't talk about that. Sorry. The Palladium system is the minivan.
Yeah.
It'll get you there. It's not sexy.
I think the monster truck would be Gamma World.
Gamma World's kind of the monster
if
truck.
there's any more.
A little weird.
Yeah, anything
Maybe not an
anything
efficient
worthwhile.
Yeah.
But it brute forces everything.
That's
Yeah.
right. The allegory's falling apart. But anyway. Red Ford Fairlane. Yeah, you know. So look at your other options. I know D&D is the sauce. It's the popular thing right now. It's, it is the RPG version of Sriracha 5 years ago. So,
Okay.
83 Honda Civic
Was Sriracha that popular 5 years ago? I guess maybe.
I mean, basically everybody was fucking always eating sriracha on basically everything.
So then I agree that it is cool.
Yeah.
Tales from the Funny Vagabond is more of like the Studebaker. Like a really well-maintained Studebaker. People kind of stare at you going down the road like, is that even a car?
Oh my god.
Is that... Why is it
It's
look
fine.
like
They're
that?
interacting with their chat.
It looks
But-
like the front looks like the back.
Yes, but if
waiting
you
for
get in an
something
accident,
else.
you just gotta hose it down.
That's
and
right. It's
fine.
meant to be an accident. That's the floating vagabond. Driving drunk, whatever. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that, kids.
Thank you.
Actually, no. You should be drinking anyway, kids.
That's right.
So don't do that
Adults
either.
don't do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Okay.
D&D's fun. We like D&D. There are better systems for what you might be looking for.
Sure. Yes, I agree.
Just saying.
Basically, we made this entire series because too many people are playing D&D wrong.
No, there you go. We're playing D&D wrong. No, you don't.
No one's playing D&D wrong.
Oh.
Worst case scenario,
God.
you're playing D&D and you don't enjoy it because you're looking for something different.
That's exactly. Yes, exactly.
That's it.
Fucking
Oh
hell.
my god. Ugh.
Did Pathfinder 2 take D&D for his place as the combat RPG in Cody's mind? Where did the bad D&D touch him? It must have touched him in the bad place. It's got a lot in common.
In the
with
drama and the horror and the strange and the martial arts.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And there it is. They said it. They said the thing. Oh my god, they're saying we have fun wrong. This is so having fun wrong. And this all started with, why are you playing monster races? I know.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's like they. Oh man, I need to look at the comments on this after I.
Oh god.
After, but
Ooh.
I just got. Oh man, we gotta
That's-
get through it. Oh my god, bad wrong thing.
I'm tired of looking at D&D forums and seeing people's parties posted, and they're all monsters.
Shut up.
And it's like, okay, that's if you want to have fun with your all tiefling half demon party, play freaking vampire.
Yeah. Tiefling.
Oh my god.
You're having
Okay.
your fun. Go play a different game.
Okay, so I haven't said this so far because it hasn't been that egregious yet, but straight up, fully, completely, and unexaggeratedly, fuck you.
I know, right? Fuck you, man.
Fuck you.
Really? I see other people posting their fucking parties and having fun, and fuck you with your. Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god, I want to slap this person. Fuck off. Oh, that made me mad. That made me almost as mad as Fate of Cthulhu. Fuck off.
Excuse me, when did you say? Do you have a say in how I play? Exactly.
Christ.
Oh, I can't wait to see the
Ooh.
comments and shit. I'm so excited. Oh, are boomers of a certain age? Dude, this isn't even any age thing. This is just mindset now. This is just. Oh my god.
Chaotic good. Priest of Ra. Shut up.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it
Just,
shouldn't be.
just
That's,
shut up. No.
That doesn't make any
Stop.
sense for anyway. So,
Fuck you.
Oh
but
my
you know,
God.
it's in the book. Anytime I hear it's in the book, I can play Warforged. You're a golem. No, not according to this.
No, you're a monster. Shut up.
Yeah. What else, Anthony? Yes! Thank you. What else? Good to see you. At least you missed the RNGs. At least got the code for me.
Christ.
Well, you missed all the lag then. What else did
Yeah, you missed the lag. But you missed the game too. Sorry.
That's true. You did miss the giveaway.
God
So,
forbid you
we
wanna
hope they
play
give you some
Furballs and
suggestions.
Necromancer or something. I know.
We hope that maybe open some ideas. If you have a
Fuck's
D&D group,
sake.
things are getting kind of stale. There are literally hundreds of systems out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
I wanted
now
to.
you're going back to reality and sense. Yes, if you think D&D is you're having a stale time, like it's getting stale for you, do something else. Absolutely, yes. Find something that you're not gonna feel stale like playing. Absolutely. Fucking all this other shit.
I'm
Run a
still
game
so
of
mad.
only monster races just to spite them now. I know, right? Monsters are bad because they say so. That's what I heard, anyways. I know, it's so dumb.
God, I hate these. I don't like these people.
It's kind of out of print, but it's the Weird West role-playing game. You could make the Lone Stranger from Spider-Verse #4 in Deadlands. Like
oh my god!
Don't do that. But there are a lot of great systems out there. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
so many systems
you know what?
we talked about things that we enjoyed playing.
One of the only ways I ever tolerate the phrases in relation to creation in an RPG. The only time I will ever tolerate the phrase "but you shouldn't" is in two things.
Sure.
Two situations. One, when you're taking a feat that you literally don't need.
Sure.
Like, and by don't need, I mean like statistically, like stats wise and rules wise, has no benefit for you.
Sure.
So like, imagine you're a fighter who uses the greatsword and you take crossbow master.
Right. Okay.
And you never use a crossbow. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
Because you wasted a feat. Two.
There are many other options for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Two. True strike. You shouldn't. Not until they update it. You shouldn't. Certain spells that just don't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? That just are bad. Yeah. There are very, very, very few times I will ever tolerate, but you shouldn't. In terms of creation.
Exactly.
If you want to make something, make it. If you want
to
make something, it's because you want to. And I am not here to fucking tell you that, no, you don't want to do that. Right. Unless it is actually something that you don't know will be either detrimental or a waste. In which case, I might not even say that. But
it's remember back when Aiden was talking about how he would suggest things more so is like alternatives just because they would fit better, right?
Yeah.
Like that's fine, right? Suggest things that might fit better to use, but like this, like just saying no, like basically.
And also, you're playing a Warforged, you're playing a Golem, fuck you.
Right, exactly.
God, I hate you.
It's so
fuck
dumb.
Off.
That's so dumb. Well, my human warlock is kind of a monster now, so they can just shut. Me, I want to play a sentient scarecrow. Them, how dare you want to play a soulless golem? This is like the worst motivation to try and recommend new systems. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's unfortunate, right?
True's taking 5e anyway. Yeah, right? Yeah. Right. In 5e, True Strike's terrible. In 2e, it's good.
It's good. Yeah, it's true.
Steely, you missed a fucking shit show.
Oh my god, you did, yeah. And even then, the waste can be forgiven on a joke character. Sure, yeah,
exactly.
Why not?
And one of the things that I was gonna say was if you pick that thing, that was a waste, and then you come back and and I don't say anything. I don't tell you no, and I don't tell you, or you just say I'd like to do it anyway, and I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
If you come back and you be like, hey, can I switch this out for something? This is really not working for me. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Because I can see, I'm playing with you. I can see that it's not working. I can tell you're not having fun with it. Let's do it.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. They don't look old enough to be boomers, but they have the mindset. There's a lot of great systems out there. Yeah, shame you talk about them in your crap video. I know, right?
Yeah, right.
I know.
That we didn't get a chance to. They said these are our suggestions. Maybe if others suggest for role-playing games you think people should check out instead of D&D. Like if you're looking for something in D&D, let us know. Put your favorite in the comments, and we'll talk about that another time. I mean, Heathen Dog does talk RPGs on the Legion with live stream at 8 p.m. Central on Saturdays. So let us know, everyone. Thank you for watching, and be a Legionnaire.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank you. There's another 3 minutes, and I don't what is left. I just skip forward.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay,
it's just the end of the stream.
Nothing. Okay. Oh my God. It's so dumb.
Oh, God.
You can catch it on the VOD for sure. I love a nice warm dumpster fire. Oh, God, it is a huge one.
A blazing inferno.
It's a blazing inferno, yes. It's a bonfire itself. It's the whole store of the fireworks factory has now had a spark set in, and it's gonna blow up. It's just going. It's blowing up right now. Oh, my God. I gotta. Okay, so we'll. I just gotta go piss, guys. We'll be right back with more stuff. Oh my god, I hate this.
All right, we'll take that intermission then. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that was a nightmare. Ah, fuck me. Oh. They would have just made it about alternative games. Yeah, right? If they, like, they didn't have to have any of that. Like, it could have just been, hey, everybody plays D&D, but I've seen that some people who play D&D are complaining about the fact that, oh, there's not enough technology, or I'm tired of playing just fantasy. Well, these are some games for you. If you like this and this and this and this, these are great systems for it. D&D can do all of this, but these ones are designed specifically for it, so they will be able to do it better. Bam! Then it would have been a great video. But no, they had to bring the boomer shit in and start bashing on monster races for no reason, really. I know. I don't know. I'm just glad the video is over. Oh my god. Ugh.
Okay.
Is this next one gonna be good?
It's from Juce.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, he actually has some points that I would like to go over that are neat. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, just yeah. What did I miss here? If they would just made it about alternative games to D&D without the monster bashing, it would have been better. Yes, that and just bashing D&D for no reason in general.
Yeah.
The hell was even the point of all that bashing to get hate clicks or something? In the end, they were so vague about most of the systems. I really didn't hear anything that interesting. The only thing that I really that really peaked was like, hey, this one system.
Super Spies.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just like, hey, man, guess what? It has everything, like, lore and everything you need in there. Go.
Yeah, that's cool. That was the only one they really went into.
Yeah. So dumb. They could also have laid off on the whole D&D is only played this way. Yes. Hot takes get views. It is unfortunate, but yes. Oh, well, I've had my rage piss, so we're good. I feel better.
Blasted a hole through the porcelain.
I just, it's all better now. They also said Call of Cthulhu is for monster killing. That's right. I forgot. I actually forgot. So weird. Okay, everyone. Well, it's time for shilling. It's time for shilling and shouting out. That is the time right now because we're in the middle. We're at the between the two videos, and I want to give thanks to those who have done the good things. Because fucking those of you out there who have done this already, you fucking, it's stellar shit. It's amazing. So, if you didn't know, we have a Patreon. And it is found on patreon.com/tabletalkdnd, I believe. And you can find us via putting in Table Talk with no space. We're on there. And hey, guess what? We have fucking 4 patrons. Oh my god. It's crazy, dude. So, just going down alphabetically, right here, we have Draco Kusaji as our first patron. He's a newer patron. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. Fucking sick. Then we have Kill Chrono. He's been in the chat. You've seen him. You love him. He's there. We have Slazer, also been in the chat. Seen him. Love him. Draco's been in the chat as well. Sorry, I just, anyway. And Steely. Fucking Steely, our original, also been in the chat. You've seen him. You love him. You guys, fucking eternal thanks to you. Very cool. Got around done cleaning COVID rooms for the day later. Oh, jeez. Well, hey, man. Good on you. Thank you. Yep. Doubled your table flippers. Way to go. Hell yeah, dude. They're all table flippers on the Discord. Well, those of you who are on the Discord. But yeah. So yeah. They've all donated. Thank you very much. You help to get us more things for the show, which is great. Fucking fantastic. And again, as always, don't donate unless you can and want to. right?
Yes.
Don't just give us your money willy-nilly. Fucking be financially responsible.
Unless you have a massive excess of money.
Right? If you have a massive excess, like what are you gonna do with it? What?
Yeah. You should give some to us.
Right? No, but
that way we can have a massive excess of money.
but no, again, really, thank you all.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. And for those of you who haven't, also thank you for just hanging out, watching the videos,
Yes.
liking them and sharing them with people. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see.
Because I'll tell you one thing, it really is a lot more fun doing the podcast with the chat active than it was doing them just with us three.
Yeah. Oh, it's been great. It's been fucking amazing. I'm glad that we can do this now.
Oh yeah, no, we did call them table flippers.
yeah, it's true.
It was great.
It's very good. It was a very good suggestion. So yeah, that is that. And just very quickly, just to remind people, we do have merch. Hello, merch, because you have to plug that shit. TeePublic, you can go find our stuff. We have shirts, we have hoodies, we have tank tops, we have all these kinds of things. We got masks, we got mugs, I don't think we have wall art, unfortunately, because our logo is too small for that. Or the file was. But we have like notebooks and pillows and fucking pins. Dude, I actually really want to get one of these pins. Holy fuck. Well, apparently we've sold 3. I did not know that. Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so cool. There's also, I think we have stickers as well, which are cool. And magnets. We have a bunch of shit. So like, hey man. Or maybe it's 3 in general of stuff. But yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
But it's I like the little but yeah, thank you very much to everyone who checks it out and buys and donates and all of that. You guys are great. And yeah, hope you enjoy that shit. Hope you continue to enjoy the show. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm watching hearing enemy music in an RPG.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I love that shit.
The fucking scream face is just so great.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. It is time. We're gonna move on to a better video already, because having watched a few minutes of it, it is better, just objectively.
That's good. That's good.
You need a second?
Sorry.
You need a second? You good?
Yes.
Okay.
And today,
Let me just set this up.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
So
The title, I mean.
D&D 5e is too easy for players. Now, it depends, right?
Yeah.
I think it depends, but this is brought to us by our good old boy Juce from Master the Game. So I'm interested to see what he has to say further than what I saw. Here we go.
welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today we are talking about D&D 5e players getting away with everything because the system is too forgiving. So let's get started.
The obligatory, like, gigantic wall of RPG books.
Unfortunately,
If this is your first time
Don't
here,
have
be sure
that.
to smash that subscribe
Oh, hey,
button.
look! There's
Give us a-
Riri in the background!
oh yeah, you're right. There isn't it. But just off the bat, so he says the system allows players to get away with a lot of things. To an extent, I would say so, yes, because like we've said before, D&D is it's so hard to die in D&D, right? Like it's so hard to have those consequences of death, really.
Yeah.
Or getting hurt, really.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of being hard, it being hard to die, and it being bad form to kill your players. You know, and it's usually always happens as an accident.
Yeah,
And you don't want it to happen.
It's one of those. Yeah, again, it's like you're putting. I'm not a big fan of 5e, so I'll try to be nice during the video. I mean,
that's
feel free to say whatever you want to say.
I mean, hey, we shit on people. It's fine.
We do that, and we also we'll talk about whatever you talk about. It's fine. More free drama if you want your haterade fix. Go to the Pathfinder 2e forum and start a topic on whether you think it's too hard. Oh, jeez, yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, right? Because I think there's some simple things you can do. Like they have those optional rules in 5e to make things a little more challenging.
Yeah, like the gritty healing and shit.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like you can make it so that you can have what you need just from the book, because again, those optional rules are still part of the book, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you need can be done to make it however you need to see fit. Just with just the book. Without any homebrew, I would say. But yeah, I don't know.
Like, and so at any point during any of our videos, leave a comment below if you agree, disagree, or just want to elaborate on an idea, or just ask a question. More than happy to respond to all comments below.
Love you, Juce.
Yeah, so let's get into the content.
Good shit.
So a common theme among people on social media is that D&D 5e players are too overpowered. The system is too forgiving for players. It's hard on DMs to create challenging encounters without players running roughshod through it, and all of this. And
So and this is, again, I don't know popular consciousness, but I would say it depends again, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so yes, the players are pretty powerful, right? The monsters last at least, I think it's supposed to be like, or usually at least on average, it's like 2 rounds, right? Just because of how strong they are. But that is taking, I don't know if that's taking into account tactics, right? What you're making your monsters do, what your players do, like the dice rolls. Like it's very hard to quantify. Well, I guess
like
it's not
the
hard.
reasons.
Yeah, that's more it. It's like it's hard to give all of the reasons, because not all of the reasons are going to be present in every combat encounter, right?
Yeah.
And this is just on combat, because like obviously I don't think anybody's saying this about role playing, right? Because in general, right? Because I think everybody already at this point, well, most people at this point know that 5e is fine with role playing. Like there's no
issues with it, really.
There. Plus homebrew is a thing if you want. Yes. I've got thoughts, TM, on difficulty in 5e, but I'll wait and see what the video says first. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Monsters were altered to a 3.5e vampire has more abilities than a 5e vampire. That is true.
Yep.
He could just say that 5e is D&D with training wheels that holds your hand on a theme park ride.
It depends. It depends on how it's run, really.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time when I'm designing an encounter, I have a lot of trouble designing an encounter as a DM, not because players are strong, but because I don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
I'm often surprised at how easily my encounters are defeated, but at the same time, I don't want them to defeat the players.
Yeah.
So
you want it to be a nice challenge, not something that completely fucks them.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that someone mentioned a while ago, I think it was either a comment, I don't remember, but it was before we started doing it in the live podcast. We were talking about, I think, bosses or something, and the difficulty of having good boss encounters. And someone had said that the way I run boss encounters is I throw the boss at them, it has all of its abilities and stuff, and I just let it go until it feels right.
Okay.
So, like, and I think the way they did it, they had, like, instead of it having hit points, they had just hits. So, if the boss gets hit 20 times or something like that, you know, and as long as the hits actually make sense, like, the getting hit with, I don't know, getting hit with a hammer in the toe isn't going to cut its head off, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's just a way to make it so that the boss fight does feel thematic without them being able to, like, you know, just blast it down.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, that's a way to do it.
It's an interesting way to do it. It's very arbitrary, but I think if you have like a big final boss or a really important boss fight that you want to be memorable and thematic, I think that can work really well.
Yeah.
So my problem with designing encounters is just I don't want to kill my players, and so I usually lowball it.
Yeah,
just because
exactly.
I don't want to fuck them up.
That's the thing, right? Once you get to level 3, when you actually have a character, like that's when you're at least hardy enough to do things.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
hell,
like-
the first fight in Devils and Dice was 2 goblins with like 10 HP each.
Yep.
And I nearly killed Muzzle.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, it was a
So-
whole thing.
Yeah.
But again, that's 3.5 and not 5e, right?
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, it's again, it depends on how your DM runs it. I don't know. My first GM playing Rifts, if anyone here still plays or remembers that game, I don't know. Basically told me that
They
our
talked about it in the last
characters-
video.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't, dude. I've already forgotten most of that video.
Yeah, all right.
Basically told me that our characters wouldn't get killed unless we did something stupid. Then I think he would have. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's a common thing that I've heard.
Yeah.
For a lot of DMs. But if you use the 5e hardcore mode written by Runehammer, then it gets fun. Okay.
Ooh.
I've had fun playing D&D without that though, so it very well can. I just,
Yeah, if you prefer 5e to be a harder game, then yeah. But I mean, it's perfectly fine to play D&D as an easy, feel good kind of game.
It's just fine to go through it, honestly.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is the CR system in 5e is busted. It doesn't work and scale properly with character level. It's one of the reasons I moved to Pathfinder 2e. Its encounter design system actually works. Okay.
I don't actually know what the encounter design system in Pathfinder is.
Yeah, not as knowledgeable on that, unfortunately. So, but I don't know. Oh god, CR beyond level 10 PC starts to fall apart really quickly. I will agree, yes, D&D does have power creep issues. It's just one of those things of like trying to fix it as best you can with however you can, like with designing the environment and having more than one encounter in his thing. Not more than more than one monster in an encounter, right? Because if you have everybody going after one monster, it's really easy to fucking kill it.
Yeah,
I
mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'd argue it falls apart from the get-go. I threw a CR10 monster at a party of level 6 characters with CR1 to 2 mooks, and they beat it handily. Oh, well.
Wow.
God, I wish higher level play was better in 5e. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't ever want to get high level in 5e. That is fair.
Yeah.
It does fall apart to an extent earlier, but I think that level 10 to 11 is when it has the worst crack, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, it definitely gets more insane when you hit higher levels, right? Party composition plays a role too, and whether the party's abilities can counter a monster. That is true. In Pathfinder 2, if you build the fight to be moderate or severe, you know it will be. Okay. 4E had a really good encounter system. I can't remember if it used CR or just XP per monster.
It was XP per monster.
Okay, there you go.
Now that you mention it.
I know in 5e you can do that as well because they have that as a rule of like in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It has the tables of like this XP, you can use this, do the math.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also an option if that's something that might help more. So I don't know. I don't know. It depends a lot on things. I think it's annoying. It never feels consistent. Sometimes I'll run combat and think it won't take long, and then it takes 2 hours. Yes.
I mean, to be fair, that's usually just RPGs as a whole.
Yeah, combat in general. 5e
Yeah.
ultimately is more balanced in favor to the player between PC power creep for forgiving dying rules and bounded accuracy benefiting lower levels characters more. It's far more forgiving. Fair, I think. Yeah. It's not inherently wrong, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, okay, fair. DM threw a God, you guys are saying so many things. DM threw a Charybdis. Charybdis. There you go. At us. To give a decent challenge at level 8. We're much more broken after the fact. Okay. CR falls apart at earlier levels if a monster is poorly designed or too weak, like an Aboleth, instead of characters being too strong like anything post 11.
Wait, Aboleths are weak?
I don't...
I guess the Aboleth itself might not be all that strong, but I know that its effects are fucking bad.
With it being in a lair, I think it's much harder.
Yeah.
But other times,
or whoever ran it before was like really bad, because those are bad.
Yeah, I think. But other times, I think it'll be difficult, and then the players just sweep it. That's fair. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of factors in play. I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't know everything that somebody's going to do or every use of the environment or their abilities, right? But I have a basic idea, and I haven't I haven't run into an encounter where I've made something and it's felt completely like a wash. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I really don't know. But
And the thing is
yeah.
with me, even if I make a combat and if I make a combat, there's two things that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the difficulty and the I guess the impact.
Sure.
Like when I make a combat, I want it to either be challenging, easy, or hard, and I want it to be either forgettable or memorable. And I'm usually trying to make easy to average memorable fights.
Right.
Because I like to use the I like to really, really use the uniqueness of a monster to make it more memorable. Like the giant spider that looked like trees and it closed in on you without you even knowing. Or you fighting that pack of demons. And I used every single different form of the Quasit demon to make it a very weird kind of fight. Because some were flying, some were spitting acid, some were just coming up and attacking you. And the goblins in the arena that got like shot full of like this weird like Hulk drug.
Right, yeah.
So even if it's just a plain old thing like a goblin, when I choose a goblin, I'm either, okay, these guys are just cannon fodder, I don't give a shit about them, get out there and die, or these goblins are special, so I need to think of a way to make them memorable.
Yeah,
this
is the difference between what we do with our encounters and what the standard kind of thing. Not standard, I guess. I don't know. We focus more on the narrative aspect, I think. More so, because
and so we have less trouble doing combat in our group because we typically do it in terms of story. So we're actually not really the best when it comes to talking about perfectly balanced combat and making combat better.
I'll fully admit that. I think honestly, if Aiden was here, he would be the better one to talk about it.
Yeah, because he seems to do combat a lot better than we do.
Oh, absolutely. I think by large and far, fucking he's better at combat than us.
Yeah. I haven't had a fight with Brogan in a long time. I don't remember how he does combat.
True, yeah. Problem comes with when you want to make a threatening big bad evil guy and then the party beats them without a sweat. Yes. Few things suck more as a GM than your villain's purported strength being undermined. That's the thing, right? So
that's where that idea where they just take a number of hits as opposed to hit points, that's where that can be really, really helpful.
And obviously that's a hack to the system, right? Like I understand, but the other thing that I would say is it's one of those things where you just kind of have to account for how their abilities are going to be used, and you probably have. That's the thing, right? But then a lucky crit happens, right? Or you know, something completely sways the fight in their favor, and it's very often the case of that happening just because of the way that 5e is. So I think it's ultimately like what you said before of like the PCs are more favored with the power creep.
Yes, absolutely they are.
Yeah, because like I know if I ever have a monk in my party's play like thing and they don't use Stunning Strike, I'm just like, oh shit, that's great because now I can actually do things. But whenever you go with Stunning Strike ever, I'm just like, oh man, my monster's just gonna not. But that is a Constitution save, and it's hard. It's easier for most monsters to do that. But at the same time, you know.
And I mean, then the immediate solution is two monsters.
Yeah, exactly. You want more than one monster. And like obviously things like legendary stuff, like legendary actions and resistances, those are made to combat that, right?
Yes.
Because you're supposed to use those to make sure that they can do a bunch of shit before they die in those 2 rounds, right? But that's only for those certain monsters. And I think probably using more legendary action kind of things for a lot more memorable kind of monsters that you want to have, like that's better to do than to not, because then you actually have your fight have some substance. I don't know.
And I'm here to say I just don't agree. I've run tons of games since it came out. I've been running it since the day it came out. I've run one-shots. I've tried different things. I've tried some optional rules. I've tried different modules. Currently running a couple myself on this channel. which you can go check those out. I'll place a couple cards up here for you. And again, I feel like what it comes down to is a lot of things. Number one, are you allowing your players to have feats? Are you using the human variant rule for level 1? Those things are a big deal. The game does not seem to be intended to be played with feats. When it comes
they
down
are
to
an optional rule.
It feels like it's meant to be.
Okay. Yeah, they're optional, definitely. So probably that's correct. But I don't know if I've ever run into a case where the feat was the problem.
Okay, Sentinel.
Okay, yeah, fair.
There are some that are very broken, like
You are
Sentinel,
correct.
Great Weapon Master, and Sharpshooter. I think it is.
Yeah, where you minus 10 to your roll, and then
it's that one.
So again, I feel like again, there are some, but I don't know about the Sharpshooter one, because that's a big gamble thing, right? Like, taking minus 10 to your hit roll, it's like, or minus 5 or whatever it is pretty massive. It depends on, I guess, later levels as well, like how much your bonuses and stuff, but
okay.
I don't know.
Frozen Spaghetti. To give my explanation, as someone who has run multiple aboleths and fought one, and has looked at their stat block extensively, specifically the 5e one has problems. The Enslaved DC is way too low, and they're almost completely soloable by a level 6 paladin, and the lack of legendary resistance is really weird.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. I haven't looked at an aboleth in a long time.
Really? A level 6 paladin? I thought it was like a
honestly,
CR13.
Paladins in general can kill basically anything with their smite.
Yeah, I mean, paladins are bullshit.
Yeah, they're a little bullshit, so that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
That's why a good encounter system is a big draw to me. If the maths and mechanics work on the back end without me needing to tweak it too much, it makes it easier to gauge my encounters. That's fair.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Always been one of my pet peeves with 5e. Seemingly core mechanics like feats, magic items, and multiclassing are optional rules, and the game isn't balanced around them.
I don't know about magic items. Definitely feats, and
multiclassing
and multiclassing
optional. I think it's just a thing you can do.
It's true, but I mean, I think pretty much everybody is gonna give out magic items at some point,
right? It depends, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts on the mobile feat? Oh, mobile's good. I like mobile. Let me.
I always felt like a cop out.
I'll just.
Yeah, that's true. It's always felt like a cop out from Wizards of the Coast to not bother balancing the game for those things. Yeah, it was kind of lazy of them to not do that. They definitely should have. In hell, they could have done it in those same chapters. Where it's like, oh, if you take feats, maybe consider doing blah blah blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in hindsight that they could have done. I think,
and I mean, hey, if they're willing to patch the books to take out the word race, they can probably do that.
Yeah, you would think, right? I think, again, it's. I don't know, man. It's interesting, right? Like, because again, combat isn't really my main draw for D&D. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I know the system is a combat system. I know that, right? Like, it is made for combat. But there's the roleplay element as well, and I much more enjoy the roleplay element. So
no, that's fine.
I'm not the best.
You're playing wrong then. No.
I know I am.
But yeah, I mean, hell, that's a lot of why I like D&D too. I like playing the characters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes I make a character whose whole deal is how they fight, but that's usually like, oh, why do they fight like that?
Yeah.
What
absolutely.
What brought the character to adopt that fighting style? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And we're not gonna sit here and say that 5e is perfect, right? Like, no,
of course not.
We're absolutely.
No, we had whole podcasts talking about shit in 5e that sucks.
Yeah, and there's probably many more things that we can find, and you guys have brought up some good stuff as well. Like, absolutely, I'm starting to think about it more. But I still think 5e is fine overall.
Yeah, no, it is perfectly serviceable for what it is.
So mobile says your speed increases by 10 feet. When you use the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost extra movement on that turn. Woo! And when you make a melee attack against a creature, you don't provoke attack of opportunity from that creature for the rest of the turn, whether you hit or not. So I think that's fine. I think mobile is just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't had any issue with it, and I've used it before just to more position myself more than use the thing or escape, really.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of the purpose of it. I think it's fine. I don't know. Due to the number of monsters that haven't been not magical to beat. Yeah. Oh yeah. For the Aboleth, I think the Aboleth should definitely have like legendary shit. That would be
Yeah. Oh yeah, because
be
they're
really beneficial.
they're badass enough to have that.
Yeah, they're literally from like time beyond.
Yeah.
I prefer spell resistance from Pathfinder, be honest, over legendary resistance. Actually, yes, I think I see what he means. Balance across feats is really all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
It is.
D&D needs a 5.5e. It's a perfectly fine system. It just needs to consolidate a bunch of stuff and refine it. Agreed. Yeah, that would be very helpful.
I would also like the installation of more optional rules, similar to what 3.5 has, was like the DMG2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like just more rules about more stuff. I would love that.
I want it to be more like Pathfinder 2.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen while 5e is still going strong, but it'd be great to see it down the line. Maybe a third-party publisher pull a Paizo and do their own take on it. That would be really cool. Yeah, I mean,
oh man, that'd be awesome.
To be fair, 5e is that popular that a lot of things have been making 5e like compatible rule sets, right?
Yes.
So like all of that stuff, I haven't done much with any of that, but I know like the Middle Earth 5e edition thing is a thing, and like there was something else. Anyway, I don't know. Hey guys, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Pathfinder 2e?
Yeah.
Dude, it's a good system. It's really good.
No, it's good.
No, anyway, let's continue.
Be played with a standard array or point buy and no feats. Just right off the bat. That's how it feels. And you know, obviously rolling the 46 down the line, drop the lowest, place where you want is actually how character creation is supposed to be done. But I would argue that that creates too much variability. It also allows players to kind of stack certain attributes to get to an 18, at least in their primary stat at level 1.
Yeah, that's
and there's
true.
Nothing wrong with that. Again.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So I don't know about Pathfinder 2e. Good. Yes. I don't know about rolling and dropping as being the way that you're supposed to roll your stats out and all that.
It's just one of the ways that you can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
that was how it was done in the olden days. But I mean, it was done 3d6, and you do them in order.
You do them in order.
But yeah, just because it's the same thing as Death of an Author. It's the same thing as, kind of ignoring what Gygax said about the older editions.
Exactly. Like
just because
I don't
we
think
did it back then.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that you're supposed to get your stats. I just think there are various ways.
And I just like to roll dice, so I do it with dice.
Wizards of the Coast won't patch actual super impactful mechanics. No, they won't. You're right. Just looked at their refusal to patch bloodline spells into old sorcerers, refusal to admit Ranger has problems, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They tried to fix it. They tried to fix Ranger that one time, remember?
I'll patch it. They just won't admit there's anything wrong with the base class. Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah, true. Doing a group array where everyone rolls for a single stat, and then you make an array based on that. Oh, okay.
So what, like doing an average?
More so, I think, yeah. Presented as a variant. Yeah, that's right. They present as a variant. Can I have more than 3 spell slots as a warlock, please?
How do you patch a book? Well, see, here's the thing. You buy a liquid paper. Yeah.
Whiteout. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Errata, yeah. So that's the thing with, I think warlocks need a bit better with like spells, but the other thing is like with warlocks, they get their invocations, which you can just have a spell that you can use anytime. Like, and there's not many of those that you can get like right off the bat, but later on down the line you can. It's really good.
Yeah.
You know what a game has a good ranger? Pathfinder 2e. That's true. That is true. Fucking looking at fucking Pathfinder 2e's ranger, I'm like, whoo, that's miles beyond what D&D 5e has.
Yeah, right? Jesus. All right.
I use this rule. I allow people to roll stats. If they want, I allow them to do point buy, whatever. I don't care. I also allow the human variant rule where you can take a feat at first level, I let people trade in their ASIs for feats. But again, I think once you're doing that, you know, you're removing some stuff. For example, if a player takes sharpshooter and their character is a rogue assassin who shoots from, you know, afar, or is a ranger or a fighter who's a ranged character, taking sharpshooter is huge. Ignoring cover is something that a DM can do without toughening up monsters, just by changing an environment to make an encounter just a touch more difficult. And when you remove things like that, it makes a big difference. You know, allowing a spellcaster to take Warcaster, and now when they're using a concentrate spell, they get advantage to keep concentration. That is a big, big deal at any level, low levels, high levels.
It is better, yes, and I get so. I'm of two minds about that one, at least, because like having advantage to keep your concentration spells is very helpful, just because without that, your concentration spells are more than likely just not going to be a thing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's fair, especially things. I would definitely take that. I love
Warcaster. It's great.
Yeah, I would like it for more utility-based concentrations, because the thing that immediately pops into my head, fly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flies concentrate. Yep. I don't want to just happen to roll a bad concentration, plummet out of the sky, and die.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would suck.
Absolutely. You wouldn't die.
Because that's a shit. That's a shit way to go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and like I think it helps with that, because again, like with a spellcaster, more often than not, the Constitution isn't going to be their best stat. So I don't know. To be honest, I think we need less variance, or they need to be careful about what is variant. Like fighters seemingly depend on feats, but they're a variant. No, I don't think they depend on feats at all. All their abilities are already good enough that you don't need a single feat.
It's true. Depending on like your martial discipline or whatever.
Yeah. Like champions, I even with champions, the most like cookie cutter fucking nothing, but you get like better crits. Even then, like I think they're still just fine without a feat.
Yep.
My current 5e character is a Blade Singer with Warcaster and Resilience and Constitution. I never drop concentration. It's nuts how good it is. If you have Fly and don't have Featherfall prepared, you played yourself, son. That's fair.
Yeah, right. That's very true. That's very true.
At least death by failure to Fly makes for a good story for a YouTube video. That's true. Yeah.
It's true, yeah.
The spells I like to use as a player is Spirit Guardians. Well, if you get hit, you lose concentration, you know? Whereas if you take Warcaster, now you don't have to worry about that as much. You know, if your Constitution's high, again, another reason you don't have to worry about it as much. So again, these things, when you're talking about your campaigns, I've played with DMs who are like, man, all the players are OP. I had a DM tell me that my character was OP once, and all I was doing was playing a champion fighter. I used the standard array, and that was it. That was it. No feats. Just played him normal.
Wow.
That's it. He was a mountain dwarf champion fighter. And I was told that I made an optimized OP character. I didn't think so. I didn't agree. And again, I feel bad for DMs that feel this way. And I understand the reason is because they try to do the encounters by CR. They try to do the math to figure it out at a number level. They don't go deep into, well, what abilities do these characters have? What spells do they use?
Yeah. I was going to say, it's definitely more than just CR. I absolutely agree, because I like to use Cobalt Fight Club. It's a site where you can put in like basically the CR or the levels of players, and it just like does a CR fight. You can generate if it's hard, medium, or whatever. You do that, and then you just tweak it, you know,
nice.
Just to have a baseline, because it's like,
they do encounters by CR, and there it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, I agree as well. It's just like, hey, if you're doing an encounter by CR, you should really, really just pay attention to what your players can do. Absolutely, you should.
CR is kind of the issue. It's because the CR system just doesn't really work very well.
It it does its best.
Yeah, it's trying.
It's a guideline, as most things are, of like, this is what your players should be able to fight at this level, and then you tweak it a bit just to fit your players, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think, at least.
Mhm.
There are 2 specific ways to generate ability scores that are technically raw in the PHB on page 12. Things with 46 keep the highest 3 and pick where they go, or standard array. Point buy is technically a variant. Yeah, but it's still there, right?
Yeah.
If point buy isn't in the book, then you're absolutely right. But I would say even if it's a variant, quote unquote, it's still in the book, right? It's still there for you to use, and it's still there for you to read. But yeah, so CR.
What feats do they have? And those things, again, change the balance of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Aiden said it best. Monsters and enemies are going to use tactics. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Like, you gotta remember that CR isn't everything. Come back down to the CR being garbage. I don't even feel that it's good as a guideline. It's just an overall. It's just all over the place. I would have to.
I'd have to look through the monster manual again and really look at like each monster individually and really, really digest all their stats to know if it's complete garbage. But I do use it sort of as a guideline.
Yes. And I it's been successful enough for me, at least, using it as a guideline. So I don't know about it being complete garbage, but
and I mean, hell, a lot of times if I want to use a monster, I just change it. Like I just don't go with the. I just ignore the CR and be like, okay, I want to use this. Let's bring its HP up or down,
right?
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So much, especially if you're trying to do it by the math, right? And you look at a character and you're like, oh, well, that fighter only has a 16 strength and a 13 dex. Whereas this one over here has an 18 strength and a 13 dex. Well, clearly that one's better. The other one may have taken a feat, like resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So... Now 3 points of damage are coming off every time he's hit. That's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, I think these are things that people just do not pay attention to when they're balancing their encounters, when they're playing their games.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand in 5e, people think their characters are superheroes and they think that the players have all the spotlight. And in some regards, I agree. But I don't think it's this big gap that is insurmountable. I think DMs can make things challenging if that's what they want. But don't go too far, DMs. This is a big thing for me to say as well. If you are the DM who wants every single encounter to be as challenging as possible, you're probably not making a very exciting game for me.
There you go.
Maybe your group loves that. If they do, great.
There you go.
There we go.
I like to mix it up as a DM. And as a player...
This is why we love Juce. He knows what to say.
Yes. He knows what's up.
He knows what's up.
I guess the question with designing encounters based on PC abilities is how you avoid too much metagaming, i.e. suddenly the monsters are resistant to the wizard's preferred damage type. See, the thing is, that would really only happen if they're going into an area that would actually apply narratively.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a wizard who uses lots of fire spells and they're going into a swamp, there's probably still going to be some trolls out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to a volcano, you better be damn sure there's going to be some fire elementals there or whatever that will fucking eat that fire for breakfast, and it's going to heal them or maybe even power them up.
Right. Yeah.
It really just depends on the situation.
I think honestly, with doing it based on PC abilities, you can do it without worrying about the metagaming kind of aspect, because I feel like you can justify it to a degree, and if you're going to such an extent to justify something just to like make it so that it counters the wizard, right? You don't need to counter them, right?
Yeah.
You just need to challenge them. That's really it, right? And if something has a little bit more of a hidden kind of thing that could be used, then you just use it. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that you don't really need to worry about metagaming in certain situations. When you're trying to design an encounter to make it fun and engaging and challenging for your players, if you have to look into their abilities to figure out a way to make it, that way, I wouldn't really consider that to be bad metagaming. Like, say you have a wizard or somebody that can use some sort of like thunder spell. or and like sound-based stuff, and you're going up the side of a snowy mountain, and there's like literally an entire tribe of orcs coming down at them. You have them. There's like, oh man, make a perception check to make it be like, oh well, the snow up there seems to be fresh snowfall. Dudes, thunderwave, avalanche, wipe them all out.
Sure.
And then that way you are looking into what they can do and rewarding their intelligence based on what they chose to take.
Their creativity.
And and if they don't use that, then that's totally fine. But you've given them the option to be creative and unique with their spells and with their abilities. So there are certain kinds of metagaming that I believe are not bad at all.
Yeah, I would agree.
Not to mention that metagaming, that is metagaming for the purpose of making the campaign better and more fun for your players. So I really don't see how that could ever be construed as bad. Metagaming.
He brings up a point that's been discussed in the Pathfinder 2e community a lot. The official APs are notoriously brutal and don't have many fluff or chaff encounters just to flex and feel awesome. It's a legitimate issue because a lot of people have been turned off of the system because of that. Even though it's very easy to actually make less difficult encounters.
What are APs?
Adventure paths.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, sure, yeah. It's just another kind of thing of like, yeah. I feel like it's hard to design these things.
Yes,
right?
It can be hard to design shit.
And no, I'm not saying it's not impossible. I think that if they continue to do these adventure paths in the same way and never really change from it, then like
oh god. Pizza Funk
always knows the memes
every time.
Out of character chatter.
So good. I hate it.
But yeah, if they keep doing that over and over and they don't listen to the community and what they kind of want more so to see, then I feel like and I mean the community as a whole more so, like not like what fucking Wizards did. But you know what I mean? Like if they don't improve it at all, at least like I feel like they should put something that's like, hey man, more so to really get those people who don't seem to realize that you can run a game however you want. To say, hey man, remember, you can change this however you want to make it work, right? Because like it feels like that's not said enough, or at least it seems like nobody pays attention to it. Right?
Yeah, like that was one of the first things that I picked up on in that book. It's like, oh, this is guidelines. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's anyway. CR is like an eyeball metric at this point at most. Yeah, okay, fair. That's yeah. That's a really good point. You can use metagame to really create memorable moments like the avalanche. Yeah, exactly. And I agree 100% with that.
I sometimes feeling that, yeah, we just wiped the floor with these guys. They had no shot. But then a couple sessions later, we're fighting a different monster and we are pushed to our limit. I like mixing it up. I don't like every encounter to feel like, okay, we got to go to our most powerful stuff every single time, blow our resources every single time.
So like Cody,
just for me. And
cozy.
I feel like there's probably more people out there who like a variety of their encounters, and it doesn't have to just be combat. It can be social stuff too. It can be traps. It can be, just surviving in the wilderness. All that stuff. I think mixing it up, using different things from the different pillars, makes a session more exciting, more interesting.
I agree 100%. Like variety is the spice of life, dude. And like as you said, like for me it would be more fun to have those encounters of like sometimes we breeze through them or sometimes it's actually a fight. Like it depends on the narrative, of course, right?
Yeah.
If it makes sense. And even if it doesn't, like something might just randomly be harder or randomly be really easy and then we go, oh shit, wow.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you can think of it kind of like the random like special enemies in like Borderlands, shit like that.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you have like an elementally charged enemy or something. Maybe you have like an icy elemental like owlbear or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And like
that'd be cool.
These things become their own like interesting encounters that you remember and that like might even be character defining in a way,
Yeah.
Not a big fan of trying to hard counter PCs constantly. Agreed. Yep. I think there's a difference between difficult encounters and variety. You can have interesting and memorable encounters without them being balls to the wall hard. Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I mean, that's what I try to do.
Yeah. And like but like variety can also include them being harder, right? Like
yes,
it's just another variety of the encounter. Again, it depends narratively if it works or really what it does to the narrative, I think. Because I think, honestly, the narrative matters more than most everything, right? Like, I feel like, at least for me, I don't know if this is for everyone else, but I think the story itself that you're telling is, and like what your characters are going through in this adventure that you're having is more the point than the combat for me, for like role-playing games. The combat is great and I really like the combat, but you know,
terrain is obvious. Throw in a gimmick like you're fighting in a knee-high river that's flowing down streets and you have to fight, or downstream and you have to fight against it. Start a forest fire.
Yep.
Open a portal to the plane of chaos and roll on a wild magic table. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Like there's a bunch of again, that stuff could make the thing really hard, right? Like that's the thing.
Here's the problem, though. If you open up a portal of chaos, your eardrums are going to fucking explode because you're going to get surrounded by like a fucking boy band of noise marines. It's going to be fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I ever made a chaos army, it would literally be just a bunch of space marines. I mean, noise marines.
Yeah.
Literally just noise marines. It'd be great.
You would probably have some chaos spawns in there too, though. You know it. Yeah, spawns are cool.
I don't know. I might.
Yeah.
Do some like No, Demonettes of Slanesh for the backup dancers.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
And makes a campaign more exciting and interesting. So 5e, yes, it is definitely a game that is intended to make your player characters feel powerful.
Yes.
They have abilities that make them really good, especially when you hit different tiers. When you hit 5th level, your offensive firepower doubles. But all that means to me as a DM is when you want to challenge your players, don't just go for the gusto. Don't just go for the big boss fight. Create an encounter beforehand that's going to force them to expend some of those resources. Obviously, a fighter's going to have extra attack all day. But if you can get them to blow their action surge, that makes a big difference. If you can get your wizard to waste his fireball and his top level spell, you know, again, it's going to make your boss battle more challenging. I don't think you should do this every session, every time you have a big boss battle, but when you want your boss battles to feel extra difficult, these are things you should try to do ahead of time.
Yes.
I
agree.
I did that with my spider. Didn't really work, but I did it.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm dice cursed. The encounter will get harder because the space marines will smell the herosine orbital will drop down all around you.
That's true. And then just murder everybody.
But wait, why are they in the warp? They shouldn't be there.
Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
I like to borrow planar effects from the old manuals of the planes to spice up the way a place feels to fight in. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Again, like we've said before, take shit from whatever and put it into your game, right? Like whatever, like anything can be taken from anything else to put in and like make it feel interesting. Or like unique or something. Like it's really good to just cannibalize from other systems.
Just not any drama or strange or
martial arts.
Yeah, martial arts, none of that.
Can't have any of that in D&D, sorry.
I recall someone once mentioning that the party needing to retreat sometimes wasn't a bad thing. What do you think about encounters in that? Too hard or good flavor?
I love the fact... Okay, so retreat is always an option, and that is never stressed enough. I think that having the ability to judge that you need to get the fuck out of there to live another day and get better, and maybe like that becomes your recurring enemy or like the big bad, at least for now, right? Like I feel like it can be really good to do. It's hard to do. It's hard to get your players to realize that they can retreat and they should retreat, right?
Yes,
that you want them to retreat. right?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because like having a fight where you need to either stay out of it or retreat is great, but it's so hard because in D&D it's a combat-based system.
Yes.
Combat is so important in D&D.
Yes.
And it is so hard to have your players understand that run away.
Yes.
You're not supposed to win this.
Yes. I think it's fine.
You have to make it so blatantly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And even then,
it'll still be tried.
Yeah, it's still going to be like, oh, should we run? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Kill Chrono. Retreat options are great, but I feel like with most of my groups, I need a giant flashing neon sign to let them know they're not intended to win the fight.
Yes, exactly. I think it's fine occasionally, especially if this is their own fault or fighting directly was never your objective, to be honest. Yeah, sure. Like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was like, hey, so we were talking about just in general kind of stuff, and I was like, she was like, hey, so if I like to introduce my villains in the starts to like make them understand like this is the villain and stuff, and if they want to fight it, you know, that's fine, but they'll probably die. Right? And I was like, okay, but what if, right? What if you get them to get into this situation, but they find that they actually like beat it, right? They find a creative way to do it. Would you do that?
Yeah.
Would you let them do that? And she was like, yeah, I think so. It just depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like what they are intending to do. But in that case, I would even go, okay, so you can try it. Just know you can run away at any time. It just is going to change the landscape,
The story,
here, right? Of like now you're on this guy's radar, like hard, right? Barbarian charges in, bravely run away. So Robin,
yeah. I haven't seen the movie in years.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Pathfinder 2e has rules for chases. I use them when I'm signposting a very obvious you need to run scenario. There you go. The 5e also does. I really like the chase rules in 5e. I've used them a few times.
5e? They have chase rules in 5e?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Like, people don't know.
I know about the chase rules in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
no,
I think it's because it's in the DMG and nobody reads the DMG.
That would be why.
But no, legitimately, there are chase rules in it, and it's really fun, and I like doing chases occasionally just because it's just a fun way to do it. The Joestar secret technique isn't much of a secret, I see. Favorite game in the Bravely Default series? There you go. But yeah, no, so yeah, retreat is hard.
Yes.
An example of this right now is our Descent into Avernus game. My players have gotten to the High Hall Cathedral. They've had a couple really tough combats, and they are almost out of resources. They're low on hit points. They need a long rest. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to get that. I don't know if they are. I don't know where they're going to find it. I don't know any of that. But we'll see next session because they're in the thick of it right now. But if I were to throw not even the toughest encounter, it could be some lower tiered monsters, I could challenge them now and make it memorable. And that's what's awesome. But this again,
It's so horrifying.
Thank you, Frozen Spaghetti. I really appreciate that. Chases are on page 252 of the DMG for anyone interested. Absolutely, go check them out. They're really cool. I now have to show this. Fucking Boo is showing these fucking frames of fucking.
It gets me every fucking. I think it's because only in that shot, they show each individual tooth.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other ones, with just a white bar.
Oh
God. Oh man.
So, Call of Cthulhu chase rules. 1, check to see if your party members are still saying 2. If you said yes, you're probably wrong. Check again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay.
Again, this is not something you do all the time, just occasionally. And right now, in that campaign, it feels like we're there. It feels like they're going to have a tough time for the next episode or two.
This stop.
Sorry. the fucking Discord, and I saw the face, and it got me again. Sorry.
You're fine. So what I want to stress that that Juce has been talking about is that there is a lot of trying to feel out where you use these techniques, right? Because it's hard to use them effectively if you're in a situation where it doesn't feel like it's appropriate, right? Just like anything, you kind of have to like pay attention to the situation and make sure that it's going to work, or at least you think it's going to work, right?
Yeah.
Because it might not at the same time. But I highly I'm vibing with the fact that like he's saying it feels appropriate in this situation, right? Like it feel, because again, this feeling, I understand that concept of this feeling of like, yes, there are points where you kind of just feel where things are needed or necessary or at least could work, right? And then you go with it. But yeah,
exciting, and I hope over the next episode or two, the players feel tension. And it's exciting for them as well. And if they do get through to the other side, I want them to breathe a sigh of relief, the tension to come off, and them to feel like, you know, we felt challenged. That was difficult. And the beautiful thing about it is, yes, I'm running a module. I'm using some of the monsters from there. However, I've done some random encounters that weren't random because I prep them a little bit.
Right.
I always roll for my random encounters between sessions. But I've used those tools that are in the book to put them in places that I thought would make parts a little bit more difficult. You know, throwing hellhounds at your party is not, especially at 5th level, is not an overpowering thing. 2 hellhounds are kind of tough, but they shouldn't wipe your party. But they will blow some of their resources. And follow that up with another encounter with a couple more hellhounds and one other weak creature. And again, you're making them blow some resources that are making it difficult. That is not something that they can't overcome. Think a little bit more, not just about a single encounter, but the build up to an encounter. You can make things challenging and still fun for everybody without being too much.
I like this video. He's not blaming the system. He's offering fixes to a problem he has seen people have, and he's giving a real example of it. So the opposite of Cody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Yeah. Juce is a good guy. This guy.
Yeah, no,
we've had him.
We've done shit with him before.
Yeah. Like I appreciate his perspective on a lot of these things because he does have a different perspective as well.
Yeah.
Like occasionally that is good to pick at. But yeah, no, this is a great video so far.
That's very good. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping that this would be good.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be good.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I see the illusion has been dispelled. Thank God.
Something I've seen people do is use the gritty realism rules or modified version to make it so you have a respectable number of encounters. Wait, gritty realism? That does. So does that still? Does gritty realism change the amount of encounters?
No, I think it's more just to have the gritty realism there so that the encounters themselves are more difficult and more challenging. I think that's...
Or at least the aftermath of them is more taxing, I guess.
Exactly, yes. And that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because, like, yeah, you go to bed and then you're fine in regular
Yeah,
rules.
right, you sleep. And
we always have a problem with that because it's just like...
because it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Resource management gameplay is a very particular style that 5e in particular is based around. I've fallen out of favor with it, but the game ultimately depends on it, so you can't ignore it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I would say so. And like if you've fallen out of it, that's fair. I think every system has it to some degree, but 5e is definitely more prevalent with it because of all the like abilities and spells and stuff. Although
like
I would
daily
say
abilities, potions and shit.
Yeah, I would say Pathfinder has it to an extent, but it's less so.
Yeah.
And if you feel like your players are overpowered, just try some of these things.
Yes.
Test it. Play around with it a little more. You know, don't just look at CRs. Look at the abilities of monsters. Look at their resistances, their immunities. If you know a player's doing fireball all the time, look at monsters that have immunity to fire. You take away your wizard's top spell slot completely without him having to blow it just by doing that. So that's kind of cool. If you have a player that likes to use the sleep spell a bunch, again, use creatures that don't
Take
sleep.
it easy,
use
Steely.
constructs. Use
Oh. Yeah,
I have that
see
work
you,
thing in the morning. I do 5 days a week for some reason. Yeah, same, right?
Have a good night, man. Good to see
Yep,
you.
take it easy.
elves. You can do things to challenge your party. 5e encounter design is not the hardest thing in the world. You just have to think a little. And I believe you can do it. I believe all of you can do it.
I love you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So, again, if you're somebody who says, oh, the players just are too overpowered and you're just going through the motions of combat, I'm sorry. You know, I think you're phoning it in, and that's unfortunate. Because with just a little thought, looking through a monster manual or D&D Beyond at different monsters, I think you can find things that will work against your party. And I'm not talking about killing your party. I'm just talking about creating tension and stress on the players, making them feel like they're not going to be able to survive the day. And the cool part when you get to that is that players do some crazy stuff as a team. And that's awesome. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.
Hell yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. Thank you, Juice. Thank
Yep.
you so much. If you haven't
No
checked him out
problems.
yet, if you haven't fucking subbed to his channel yet, fucking go do so. Great guy. Hope to have him on soon because we were going to before, but you know, things happened and
And then Aiden died.
yeah, he died super hard.
Maybe he could be our new third host.
Oh my god. So Pathfinder 2e has it definitely, but stuff like healing is basically a no factor. Spell slots are still required, but ultimately you can balance on more than one encounter. Oh, more on an encounter to encounter basis. I see. Yeah, that's true. Because like they have the healing like a point a day or something, right? Like yeah, it's definitely that. That was really good. Yes, Juice is a good content creator. Very happy with that. I would say that his title should be D&D isn't too easy for players, or can be too easy for players, because like he's saying, you just put in some work and all you got to do is make it work. Medicine is very good in Pathfinder 2e. Yes, that is true. You can heal people with that. That's right.
It's also pretty good in real life too.
I like medicine.
Yeah, me too. Unless it's that super bitter shit that you take when you're like 5 years old. Fuck that.
TLDR, get good at encounters, scrubs. Yep. That's the thing we've encountered a lot, is that people don't know how to like actually try to like make encounters better, and they just kind of plop a monster there and they don't do anything really with it. They just go, it attacks, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice change of pace, having someone go through the actual faults of the system and why it is so, rather than saying illusion of choice and confirmation bias. Yes.
I know, right? It's so nice.
It's always nice to have somebody who actually makes sense.
Yes.
And talks about something and
hey,
offers criticism and change.
He won't have a 50-minute video talking about why we didn't get it.
Right? Because we got it. It's
Yeah.
so simple. It's so easy. Man, I wonder who would ever just toss out buzzwords like that without understanding them. Dude, I know, right? No one would do that.
Nobody.
All right, okay. Subtle shots at Cody aside.
Yeah. Very subtle.
Very subtle. Thank you all.
Yes.
I feel bad for I feel dunking on Cody has attracted us all to Pathfinder 2e. All us Pathfinder 2e sycophants. Nah, it's cool, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have opinions on shit, and it's good, regardless.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine.
And honestly, I feel like I'm gonna play more Pathfinder at some point anyway, so, you know.
Yeah.
And not saying we're outright playing wrong. That's always a big thing, yeah. When they don't say that, or when they do say that, it's a big thing in one way or the other. But yeah, so, that's it for the show today. Thanks, guys. We ended on a high note. Very high note. Very good note. But yeah, right at the end here, thank you again to Draco Kusagi, Kill Chrono, Slazer, and Steely for your patronage. Very much appreciate it. Hope you continue to enjoy. And yeah, it's fucking great. Thank you.
Yeah, and be sure you stop by our Patreon and give us your money.
Yep, do that only. No,
if you want. I mean, I guess if you want.
Yeah. But yes. So yeah, thank you again, and I think that's everything.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So good night.
So we're
everybody.
fucking done.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you big bastards.
Go away. No, but thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
So bye.
Bye.
Bye.